Hello everyone, and welcome to the WMAS Mechanical Blast from the Past 250 for the ARCS Midwest Barbecue Cup Series. My name is Kevin Young, bringing you the action here as always as we join you here in the middle of qualifying. After a very intense previous 19, now technically 18 weeks, we are now here, the start of the playoffs. 16 drivers are going to fight for their right to make it into the playoffs and challenge for the championship, which we decided over the next 7 rounds, I should say. It'll be interesting to see how it all plays out, and if you look to your left of your screen, obviously you can see right now one of our playoff drivers, David Wright, just finishing up his second lap here. That will slot him sitting in P17, as now he actually comes across the line and actually finishes second lap here. We'll see where he slots his car. If going any higher, it will be P16 for the 42 driver in a throwback scheme. Now, obviously, with a little over 4 minutes to go in qualifying, got a lot of things to cover here. For starters, on the left side of your screen, if you see the names, if they are in green, they are in the playoffs. We will go over the standings. Actually, we'll pull them up right. Actually, we'll hold out for the standings just for a second. We do have some more drivers running qualifying runs here, so let them do their runs, and then we'll see where everyone shakes up during the warm-up. Here is Brandon Featherplace back on the track this week. Obviously, his actually, I wouldn't say his fill-in driver. Yeah, his fill-in driver over the past couple weeks has been doing a good job, but obviously now back occupied the car. And we'll see if he can make a run here. He was the regular season champion 2 seasons ago. Last season, I should say. This season, obviously, had a good, strong resurgence after coming in midway in the season, looking to try to get a crown. A crown for his head here. Right now, doing his first lap there, almost hits the wall. We'll have to see if that lap counts or not. We'll see if we can get a better angle of some of the billboards seem to be cutting the shots here. So as Brandon Featherplace is running his run right now, Cody Pennell and Tom Sears. Tom Sears is about to start his flying lap along with Cody Pennell. We'll see where both of them slot. They'll have to be a 29.89. They want to find their way in to pole position here. Obviously, as the title suggested, you can see by the title as well, a lot of drivers are running throwback schemes here tonight. As it is a throwback race, you'll see tons of those paint schemes driving around. We obviously saw David Wright throwing a Richard Petty back throw scheme. We'll check out a few others in a little bit here. We're going to, let this qualifying run complete here for both Featherplace and Pennell. So a lot of drivers use this opportunity to throw back the drivers they enjoyed when they watched them as kids, or maybe as adults. Maybe at some point schemes they found very interesting to drive. Others just throwing it back to themselves. A lot of drivers will do that. As Brandon Featherplace will run a second fast lap there, and he'll go P2. Going to lock himself on the front row, at least for the moment, but still some other drivers to play. Here's Tom Sears, his teammate and team boss, in the nicely sponsored WM Mechanics machine scheme here, number 14. Almost looks like an AJ Foyt throwback just a bit. Obviously, that is not, I think, 100% what he's going for here. I can obviously correct the record, but you can see right now, obviously, Tom Sears runs some very great paint schemes here, and obviously docking the main sponsor of tonight's festivities on his car. Sears definitely a driver that knows how to lurk around Darlington. Won Stage 1, the cap of the playoffs last year, when he ended up getting a good fuel economy run. So Sears knows how to get these stages and make them work, as he'll go P11 for his troubles in the number 14. We'll pin on nicely to Ross Baxter, who came oh so close to making the playoffs last week. Just came just a hair short. And here he is starting his first of 2 runs. Now, if you're a driver that didn't make the playoffs, don't feel bad just yet. There is the Silver Bracket Challenge as well. We'll show you all the competitors and what that entails in a moment. But for those drivers, they are competing for glory to be the best of the rest, and in turn, also competing for a chance to enter into the All-Star race. Because the All-Star race is reward for drivers that have won stages, race wins, or even the Bracket Challenge. And if a driver wins the Silver Challenge and has not won a stage or a race yet, they will also lock themselves into the All-Star race on September 15th. Ross Baxter completes his second run there. It's going to be P15 for the number 6 machine in the Winn-Dixie throwback to Mark Martin, as he will cross the line there. A minute to go, a little over a minute to go in qualifying here. We'll see if anyone else is on the track doing anything of note here. Lilac Sear continues to do laps, so we'll pivot to her, and actually she's now coming in her number 89 machine here. She will hit the box, obviously throwbacking as well. I think that's pretty much it. That's the last car on track, and they are coming on in this time by. So qualifying is pretty much concluded, with Zach Millett and Brandon Featherplace locking up the front row. And out of the 10 playoff spots, 8 of them are by playoff drivers. Only 2 of them are not, trying to play a bit of spoiler here. And we know spoilers can win. Last season, Brandon Proudfoot was a non-playoff driver driving for Presidential Racing, came in spoiled at Texas. So drivers that are spoilers can win, and we seem to saw last year as well. Bren Roberts won this race in the playoffs when he was a playoff driver, so Roberts knows how to find victory lane around here. We'll see if he can spoil, as now we see Lags are coming back out, so we'll stay on her as qualifying is about to conclude here. Also taking the opportunity to practice pit lane entry and exit, as it can be a bit tricky here, especially getting on the brake if green flag pit stops loom. So here's made it into pit lane both times there under distress. So qualifying is officially concluded. On to warm-up we will go. All right, as we move on to warm-up here, 5 minutes on the clock for these drivers, we will now take the fastest 5 minutes in E-Motorsports here, and we'll throw it out. Thank you, Tom Sears, by the way, for telling us what it's a throwback to. It's a 1993 Terry Labonte throwback in his WMAS mechanical Toyota. Obviously, if anyone else is a driver currently watching it, we know Josh Gaiman wedges in a few other drivers. Make sure you sound off on what your throwback is. Obviously, I do got a little bit of a note here for some of them, some World Late Edition. So, you got a scheme? Throw it back on. And also, good to see we're back live on YouTube as well. First 18 races, we're on Twitch, so check the VODs on Twitch if you want a full recap of the season. Also, these races do get uploaded on YouTube after a little bit of time, so you can also check up on YouTube as well. So now, while we got this opportunity with 4 minutes to go, we'll take a quick look at the playoff standings here. And we'll pull them on up here. So you can see right here, here's the playoff round 16. John Hagan has basically a race distance over the rest of the field here by how strong he was in the regular season championship. Got those 15 extra bonus points, and all those extra wins he got. He is clearly top of the class, with Darlington being a track in his wheelhouse. He's definitely someone to keep an eye on to keep that domination going. Moving further down, you got Millett, 25 up, Proudfoot, 17, Sharp, 11, Sear, 8, tied with Brandon Featherplace. Dane Michelle at 7, Jeremy Braille at 5, Seth Wansing at 4, Gaiman at 4, Sears at 1. And then you got a dead tie between Beamster, Markowski, Hawk, Oberstadt, and Wright, all at 2,000 points dead even. And with these playoffs being only 2 rounds left, as we'll pull up the calendar in a second to show you what the playoffs entail for these drivers. You can see right now, not a lot of opportunity for these drivers to make a mistake. If you have a bad run here at Darlington, you got to go on the clock at Watkins Glen and try to make points. And for some of these drivers, they may even argue today is a must-win here at Darlington. We'll also take a look at the silver bracket here as well. Pull that up right here. Here's all the drivers that did not make the playoffs in order where they didn't finish up. Obviously, silver bracket has a little bit of a more of an honor code here. Also qualifying for the RA squared All-Star race if they did not end up making it to the All-Star race yet by winning a stage or a race win or the other little caveats to get in. Here's all the drivers competing in that. 23 drivers will take a chance. A few of those drivers obviously not still in the series, but for the rest of them, on full-time entry, having a chance. Bracket's been reset. Chance to win some pride here. We'll take one also look at the playoff bracket, what these drivers look forward to in the next couple weeks here. Obviously, the races in red are the races to keep an eye out for. Obviously, the round of 16 is Darlington and Watkins Glen. Obviously, with it being a road course, some of these drivers would definitely be favored to try to punch their ticket there than here. Others, it's going to be the other way around. If they can survive the first 2 rounds, they will move on to the round of 12. Kansas and Bristol. 1.5-mile track and a short track. Obviously, a few drivers, if they can get past this, definitely will be back in their wheelhouse. Then you got 2 giraffe tracks in Talladega and Michigan. Talladega being the ultimate kind of wild card track. Could be a situation where a driver maybe coming in on the skin of the teeth could punch their ticket at Talladega or even Michigan into the playoffs. And if you can survive all that, get into the Final Four, we'll see you at Homestead September 1st, where a champion will be crowned. They will hoist the championship above their virtual heads. Obviously, all of these will now be on ABN's YouTube channel right now, which you're currently watching on live. So make sure you give us a subscribe right now and like the video as well. This does help the channel grow as we're trying to build an audio here on ABN Studios on their YouTube channel. And also, don't forget the Twitch as well, ABN 1 and ABN 2, where other content will be produced on those channels. So we've taken care of business here. There's an updated look at the brackets, and that's the wrong tab. That's the image we're looking for. Well, we got a minute to go here. We'll take a quick look and look at some of the throwbacks here. You can obviously see not Bren Roberts, Daniel Michelle running a Red Bull-inspired throwback. I want to say that is to the Brian Vickers era, but you could easily say that to a lot of the Allmendinger or even Casey Kane if you want to throw it, but I think that is a Vickers throwback, is number 25. John Hagan running a KFC scheme. Obviously, really make a throwback direct to anyone, but obviously David Reagan ran some KFC schemes along with some of the front row cars. So there's that. Josh Gaiman here in 6-1, usual paint scheme for him. Zach Millett in a usual paint scheme, but behind him you can see the 4 machine of Austin Mongold rocking a Kevin Harvick scheme. If I ever can find him on my list, there he is. Kevin Harvick, good wrench throwback scheme. We'll throw a few more out here. I know, obviously went over Tom Sears in his number 14 machine. David Wright, as we did as well. See if we can find the 74 FS. I don't think he's on pit lane, but he's obviously running a throwback as well. Actually, there he is in a throwback to the Mark Martin GoDaddy machine, now sponsored by Yes Daddy. Well, Mark Martin 14 when he filled in for Tony Stewart. Mark Martin filled in at Indianapolis for Tony Stewart when he was injured. Also, as well, there you can see that scheme as well. Davey Hawk, Ricky Rudd, 2003 inspired paint scheme. All hail NASCAR Thunder 2003 for that one. And with the clock now officially concluded, we are going to move on to the race in 184 laps for these drivers. One of them will start their playoffs on the right foot. We'll find out in just a few moments what those drivers will have entailed for. So as we move on to the race here, you see these drivers begin to warm up and get into their pit lane. We will now take a look at the starting grid here. Make sure it pulls up. Millett and Brandon Featherplace will make up row number 1. All playoff drivers lock up the first 2 rows with Josh Gaiman and Daniel Michelle in row number 2. Cody Pinnell, the highest of the silver bracket challenge. He will be in row 3 along with Brandon Proudfoot. Row 4 will be former teammates at Sunday Money Racing, now Tombstone Motorsports. It will be Brent Roberts and Seth Wanzing making up row 4. They dominated Darlington last year. Louis Pelletier Sharp and Kevin Feemster in the next row. Both playoff drivers. Sharp obviously won at Phoenix. Kevin Feemster punched his ticket in on the high banks of Daytona by finishing good there. Sears and Hagen will be the next row. Hagen, a bit of a poor qualifying result by him in 12th. Had an invalidation on lap 1 and just couldn't get the car going. He'll be definitely someone to keep an eye for throughout the race. Moving further down the field, we got Stefan Oberstadt and Lilac Sear in row number 7 is the number I was looking for. They'll be in row 7. Ross Baxter, Ryan Pinnell will be in row number 8. Obviously, Ryan Pinnell last season in A-square competition. They'll make up the 8th row. Jeremy Braille and Josh Battles in row 9. Mark DeLayla and Dale Markowski will be in row 10. David Wright and Ryan Gomes will be in row 11. Obviously, some playoff drivers still scattered back. They're going to have to get towards the front if they want to get stage points. Then you got Alfred George and Davey Hawk. Davey Hawk, the lowest of the playoff drivers, will be firing off P24. Mike Lawrence and James Kerr in row 15. James Wright and Tommy Withers in row 16. And Austin Mongold bringing up the rear in P29, just outside the last row there. So that is how the field will shake up here coming to the flag. Got a lot of strong drivers in this field tonight. A lot of drivers looking to be hungry here. Like I said, with Watkins Glen being the track next week, some of these drivers will put their hand up and say, hey, I'm not good at road courses. I know that. I need to get as many points as I can here tonight and try to cushion myself just in case drivers cannot make next week or even have mechanical faults or crash out at Watkins Glen. Speaking of drivers not making it, if a driver cannot make it, there are no more sub-drivers available, meaning all teams will have their 4 regular drivers and their 1 part-time entry to make it through to the end of the season. So if a driver doesn't make it, they could hurt their driver in the Constructors' Championship, and in turn, if the playoff driver could put themselves in a hole that it may be impossible to dig themselves out of. 1 lap to go on pacing here. You can obviously see right there a Lowe's-inspired 84 by Brent Roberts in the Jimmy Johnson throwback right there in row 4. So I'll take this chance to throw out a prediction here. Obviously, we'll see who I think can win this race. You got a lot of strong drivers here. My gut tells me not to bet against John Hagen, but I think right now he also knows he's in maybe a bit of a lax situation. Honestly, I'm going to go with the Daniel Michelle. I think he was strong at Darlington last year. He showed pace in these next-gen cars, and he's hungry to really put a staple and start his playoffs up right. I had to throw some alternates out there. Maybe Zach Millett. Can never count him out. Definitely his first playoff in this series. And we'll throw a curveball. We'll go with Josh Gaiman, someone that can also be good next week at Watkins Glen, but would like to deal with less stress tonight if he finds his way into victory lane. Restarts will be on the control of the green flag on the opening one. After that, it will be on the control of the leader in the restart box. His car is going to pull on off here. Green flag is out, and away we go for the WAMS Mechanical Blast from the past 250 here at Darlington. And as lap 1 is about to be concluded here, it's going to be Zach Millett taking where he left off with pole position and will lead lap number 1 here, giving him the first lap of this race festivities. Obviously, Brandon Feather placed in second. You saw Josh Gamewell, we were kind of covering, try to clear up there in front of the 22 machine. Got it done, though. And that's what you kind of got to do around here, especially some of these situations. As you can see, a little bit further back, Brendan Roberts was under attack, but actually it was John Hagan moving quickly up the field here, side by side with the 21 machine, who I think is a Jeff Burton throwback. If I'm not mistaken, throwing back to obviously Jeff Burton's number 99 throwback in the number 1999-2000 season, right there on the high wall as they battle for P8 respectively here. But it looks like Feemster is going to get that drive off, and that's what you kind of have to do with this track. Kick low as Feemster actually gets a little bit squirrely here. It's going to go way low here. Hagan almost runs into him, and Lilac's here, and now John Hagan will be fighting out. So Zier looks like she's could be the beneficiary of gain 2 spots here. We'll see if they get it off here. The corner, obviously outside favors the drag off. Inside, though, favors a lunging ability. So they'll still be side by side here, heading off into the next corner. As you can now see John Hagan clear out. We'll actually ride on board here with Bren Roberts here. It's in P10 right now at the moment. Obviously, you can see right there on the graphic, the last win was at Darlington. It's been about not a calendar year yet, but a calendar year in A-squared times. Winning first race of the playoffs last year, now looking to try to get a win here again. Not been a year yet, but close to it. Season P10. A little up the road, though. You can see Cody Pinnell side by side here, so we're going to get a good angle here. There you go. Making a move on Seth Wanzing as he will slot up a position. So Pinnell up to 6. Seth Wanzing down to 7th. See a bit of a train forming here as Millett is continuing to run high speeds here. Best lap on the circuit last time by 8/10 to clear Brandon Feather place in second here. And then you can see as the rest of the field gets a little bit trained up here. This driver battle for position. Speaking of, stages are at lap 35 and lap 90 respectively. So a short run in stage 1 and a little longer in stage 2. These drivers have to take what they learned as the sun sets and put it into the final stage to try to make a competitive run here. Brandon Proudfoot here making a move here on the low side. And this is something that's been a bit of a kryptonite this season so far. When Proudfoot and Featherplace have been close up, it always makes me trip up for a second. Proudfoot, though, going to be clear, but you can see Gaiman trying to get a run off. Now side by side, Seth Wanzing looking to make a move as well. Wanzing's been plagued by technical issues the past couple weeks, knowing it's crucial to get as good a run here as he can to give himself a bank of points. He's also winless this early on in the year. Someone that you definitely would not see from a 2-time champion, as he is now going to not be able to get around Cody Pinnell. But Dan Michelle was able to make it around Josh Gaiman along with Feather Proudfoot, so put them up 2 spots right there. And see, did it again there. We'll actually ride on board here with Cody Pinnell, giving us some good action at the moment. Actually, we'll hold that thought. As you can see, John Hagan making moves here as well. Keep an eye on that 81 machine. Actually, ride on board with him at the moment, as he is carving his way up to the field here. He's caught the back Seth Wanzing. As he pushes on here. Still can't get the job fully done here, have to hold on, but we'll actually ride up board in 1 lap with Hagan. And actually, we'll take a look inside his actual cockpit here. And just to see his, actually looks like Hagan had a bit of a DC for a second there. It's all sorted out now. We'll watch Hagan here. Just keep an eye on his wheel here. Watch how he saws this thing, make it move into 1. Lift, leave space, and come up. Just cleared Seth Wanzing, as we're so in the far shot here now. You can just see it's about placement of the wheel and the axle to really make sure you can diamond the corner to make a move. Another driver on the move, one of the bigger movers at the moment, is throwing back to a Jeremy Mayfield-inspired paint scheme. Ryan Pinnell, Mr. 600, throw back to Jeremy Mayfield's early 2000 paint schemes. You can see right now him and Tom Sears battling for what would be the last point in at the moment. Definitely a good vintage throwback, and obviously keeping the theme, but also allowing the number to get scrunched forward. You'd love to see throwbacks like that that incorporate the number moving forward, and still not make it feel totally out of the blue, like something that definitely would fit in the time period. So we'll cut back up to second position here. So you can see we kept the timing and scoring here. Obviously, the Twisted Metal 22 is reeling in Brandon Featherplace here. Proudfoot and Featherplace fighting side by side here. Oh, the commentator giddies in delight with the repetition of names here, as they'll be battling the second and third respectively. And Dan Michelle there also knocking on the wings. 28 cars still running at the moment. Alpha George only car to take behind the wall as we speak. So all 28 still running. All 16 playoff drivers still looking to get some good finishing here. A little bit further back, you can see Cody Pinnell side by side there getting on with John Hagan. We'll cut back to this in a second here. As Hagan's made it around ones and he wants to get as high up as he can. He has the luxury stage points, so he doesn't. He's worked out for the regular season, so it's not game over. You can see him flip the wall there very aggressively. But he's not a driver that really needs to bank points here this week here to try to give himself a cushion going into Watkins. For the most part, we'll take a look down the field here. You're going to cut back to P9 for a second here. You can see obviously step 1, 2, 3, Braille top above in a bubble here. Then you're going to have to cut to 13th. There's Jeremy Braille sitting in 13th. Obviously the champion of 2 seasons ago in his 74 machine for B-Tron. Looking to try to close up. There's Stefan Overstedt and a Lightning McQueen throwback with Deemster and Baxter in tow. So you're starting to see some of the separation. Actually, pull up the track map to show you what I mean. You can see how it's kind of in a gaggle. You got Zach Millett here running away about 1-8 clear. Then you got a second pack here led by Brandon Featherplace here. Then you got the third pack right around Oberstadt here, who's got another big gaggle of cars, and everyone else is pretty much single file after that. So overall, not any major battles happening here as Kevin Feemster is looking to make one occur. And we also know, kind of towing back and told about fuel mileage, there is slight concerns. Well, we saw at the end of stage 1, drivers maybe trying to coast and save a bit and make numbers. John Hagan, though, side by side with Cody Pinnell. John Hagan's KFC 81 is going to make it up to the top 6 here, dispatching on Cody Pinnell. Trying to say earlier, we'll go back on board. Actually, I was going to go back on board with someone, but instead you can see in the distance, Lilac Sear trying to make a move on Seth Wansing. So we'll stay on this battle and actually go on board with Lilac Sear in number 89. That was an A-square rookie, one of a few rookies to make the playoffs this year. Confirm that number real fast, but I think it's 3. We'll check the fact check here in just a second here. Is 4, actually 5. 5 drivers, 5 rookies made the playoffs this year, which are Hagan, Zier, Millett, Sharp, and Markowski, all making the playoffs. And obviously right now, speaking of the Rookie of the Year standings, Hagan is about 150 clear of John Hagan. John Hagan's 150 clear of Lilac Zier, who are watching on board. Speaking of John Hagan, we saw him making a move here, getting a little bit low here to try to make a lunge here. We'll cut back to a wider angle. Getting a little bit antsy here as we see the train kind of build up here. You can also see Daniel Schell and Josh Game behind Proudfoot. Proudfoot's lost touch to Featherplace. The battle rages on here for third. Schell on the low groove, Proudfoot on the high groove. Proudfoot in the kind of catbird seat at the moment. Michelle can chip away. We saw Hagan do this. You can see right there, nowhere to go for that 25. Checks up and will have to slot back in line. In a turn, it's kind of a situation where if you do not make the move, do not get the lunge, it's always next person up in those regards. If you don't make the move, the next right behind you be like, all right, I'll take that. And make the move return. Lap 21 just completed here as we're watching the battle for third place. Zach Miller has led all 21 laps so far. Stage ending at 35. The question is, can anyone catch that 31 machine? Michelle looking to make a move now. Go back low on Proudfoot again. Ooh, a little bit of beating or banging here. Got to be careful. Michelle will get clear. Now Proudfoot under pressure here from Gaiman. You can also see Hagen and Pinnell bumping Hagen, saying, hey, you got to get going here. Ooh, little Turk behind the curtain here. Was trying to click on something on my SDK and ended up clicking the screen there. So a little curtain behind the curtain here. It looks like we actually have a crash here. Jeremy Braille slow on the backstretch here. Looks like he's had a moment of loss here as he's a playoff driver here. We'll take a look in a second what happened as we're watching the battle here. We'll go back to Hagen, Proudfoot now. We'll check what happened to Braille in a second here. Want to let this battle play out here as Proudfoot begins to sink. There you can see the smoke of what happened to Proudfoot. Actually, I could say Braille. Proudfoot now going to fall back a couple spots here. And it's now possibly a chance to fall outside the top 10. So to see Hagen get around Cody Pinnell, we'll take a look here exactly what happened to Jeremy Braille. You can see right there, battling Kevin Feems, so just outside the top 10. He just hits the wall and gets some help there and spun. One car incident, could have argued maybe two, but that's a big lick for the 74. He gets it fired back up, but you can definitely tell he's lost a lot of time. And that is not what that 74 wanted to see this early on. Feemster also got some damage as well. Let's actually see if we can pin to that 21 real fast. You can see right on the left front, if you get a good look at that real fast, you can see a little crinkled up on that right front there, just a bit where he hit Braille. And you can see the damage that may have played. I'll take a look at Braille as well real fast. You can see right here, not a lap down yet, not at a proximity to go a lap down as we speak. But car looking otherwise like James Kerr also pretty torn up as well. You get your scratches and you get your marks here at Darlington. You don't want to end up hitting inside retaining walls if you can help it. So we'll get recycled here as well as we hit lap 25. Zach Millett still leading the way here by a healthy margin, about 2 and some change over Brandon Featherplace, who's now got even a 2-second gap over Daniel Michelle. You can see right now he's got third spot, Josh Gaiman in fourth there. And then making up the foreground, well, actually to cut the Lilacs here and Seth Wanzing. Obviously first before that was Hagen Pinnell. And Sears has been slowly chipping away at Seth Wanzing. You can see finally made the move and has gotten around. You can see drivers still battling. John Hagen looks like he's dealing with some slight connection issues. We saw in the pre-race before we went live on the stream. It took him a little bit before he got here. So I wonder if the internet is okay, or the connection issues are okay with that 81 machine. So Sear gets the spot. Wanzing falls down another position. So you can see right now, Ryan Pinnell, last driver in on stage, was well comfortable ahead of Lily Pelletier-Sharp there, who's sitting in 11th for Tom Sears in 12th. Top 10 looking stone at the moment, but obviously things can change. We saw Proudfoot fall aggressively here. We're going to cut back up to third. Saw it flash another time. Supporting fourth, you can see Josh Gaiman. He wants his third position back here as Danny Michelle holds off the charge for now in his Red Bull. You know Gaiman ain't going to go away quietly. See, just trying to follow a move around here as he clips the wall just a bit. Obviously, he was the ARCS pole sitter this season, but yet to find victory lane this year. I would confirm that real fast. Not found victory lane once this season. Has not. He's won 2 stages, but he's yet not to win. He's got a couple, multiple podiums. Just couldn't find his way to victory lane this year for the driver that came within about 30 laps to win the championship last season. Another big wall tap for Gaiman there, though. It's going to cost him more time. It's going to allow him to get caught by John Hagen here, who's got a ferocious Cody Pinnell behind. Obviously, Pinnell trying to be the spoiler. High going low, making moves in between here. raging on. You see Hagen trying to go low here. What if he may have burned up this up just a bit here? You see Pinnell makes the move on the low side, high side, I should say. Now Lilacs here also looking to make a move as well. Side by side for 6th. You can see right there, 75 James Kerr, very wounded, will go 1 lap down. Will join the 1 down crew here, along with James Wright. Ooh, big puff of smoke there. So the car may have got a little bit loose. Actually, it was Dale Markowski that had an incident. Take a look. He's had to jump the pits. You can watch this battle here real fast before we go back. See, Markowski is a playoff driver battling right in the... Oh, he clipped the wall there. Big lick on the inside wall. Maybe could have been a caution, but again, 2 cars need to cause it. With 1 being stationary, he tows before anyone else comes around here and collects him. Well, it takes him a second, but eventually he will tow. And obviously that's going to cost him multiple laps here at the very least and really put him behind the 8 ball here tonight. Zach Millett, cross line, 3 laps to go in the stage. Keep an eye on Dane Michelle and Josh Gaiman. Look right there at the moment. Gaiman looking to make a move here. Got to run off the corner, had to check it up. It's allowed Cody Pinnell and a Lilacs here to catch as well. Big battle for third. They're about 5 seconds back of Feather Place and 7 back for the race leader. So it's all hands on deck here. Usually this does not end well when drivers fight this aggressive for spots. Michelle will hold on to the charge at least for now. So with 2 laps to go, pit lane has been officially closed, so no driver can pit or else they will have to race the wrath of a penalty starting at the tail end of the longest line for illegal service. White flag in the stage here. We're watching this battle for third here as it's raging on. Gaiman's lost him a touch. Could be under pressure for Cody Pinnell. We'll pull up the track map just to show you when the race leader will cross the line here. You can see right now on the backstretch. Let's watch this battle. Once the leader takes the line, the field will officially be frozen. The top 10 will get stage points here. So head off the line here. Zach Millett's going to come off the last corner here. And he is going to win stage number 1 in a dominating fashion. Brandon Featherplace bring home second. And it'll be Daniel Michelle there in third. We'll cut back just to show you. It's Michelle, Gaiman, so on and so forth. There's Featherplace in second, Michelle in third, Gaiman in fourth, Cody Pinnell in fifth, Lilacs here in sixth, John Hagen in seventh, Seth Wanzing in eighth, Brandon Proudfoot in ninth, and Brian Pinnell round out the top 10 stage points here. So Pinnell, both Pinnells, not brothers but cousins, will take the you'll get the stage points for the silver bracket, but the other 8 will be occupied by playoff drivers. They will race on. Everyone now coming in field here. Pretty much pit lane is now open. I assume it's going to be a busy place. As Millett, Feather Place, and the rest. You can see a lot of space, though, to the third place car. That is going to play in huge. There's actually a real fast cut to Michelle, and you can just see how big of a gap it is to the top 2 here for when they timed it. So that is pretty much going to be Millett, and Feather Place should keep the top 2 spots here, bearing any mistakes. After that, though, it is going to be a race to see who wins the race off pit lane. We'll see if Mongold, Lawrence, or Kerr stay out. And actually, it looks like Lawrence and Kerr will get their laps back here by staying out. Question is now who will win the race off pit lane. I assume it should be, as that's the wrong camera. That's the camera. Should be Zach Millett taking the lead out here. But it looks like some drivers rolling the dice here. You're going to see in a second. There goes Millett. There goes Proudfoot. Battle for third. It's going to go Michelle, Pinnell, Gaiman, Hagen, Zier, and Pinnell, Wanzing, Sharp, your top 10 here. I think a few drivers like to roll the dice here, it seemed. I thought a few drivers were going to take 2, but it looks like my guess was wrong. Obviously, filling it up gets you pretty much the same time as 4-tire pit stop, so it's just a free set of tires anyway. But I swear I saw a driver take a chance. Looks like Austin Mongold stayed out coming around here. He's now going to come in this time by. Curtis scored in P9, but that is not going to be a net gain for him as he will now take his gear wrench machine and bring it on in. So you can see right up the road here, you can see drivers trying to get a lap back. Drivers make the pit stop here. That's 71 here, and just really fast as well. We saw what in the comments what his throwback is. It's a 71 K&K insurance car throwing back to the 1970-1971 Bobby Isaac days. So just showing you a throwback here as we see him drive on by in his red machine. You have his totals in the comments. So if you're if you're watching right now, just throw off the comment of the scheme. We'll take a look at under these cautions here and get you a little bit of shout as we watch the broadcast. But back up front, you can obviously see the cars ahead here. So actually, we'll show you via watching through the eyes of Millet. There we go. It's around the back strike now. Currently, you can see Dale Markowski looking to get one of his 2 laps he lost because of his incident back. Other car ahead there, I believe, is James Kerr. It's not James Kerr. It's not James Kerr. I think it's Michael Lawrence. It is Michael Lawrence. Actually, it's James Wright. Sorry. It's James Wright. He, along with Markowski, going to get the laps back. It's going to put Wright 1 down, and it's going to put Markowski now officially 2 down. So still a long hole for Markowski and Wright to climb out of, but this will at least help ease the burden a bit, and in turn put James Wright in the race to get the lucky dog back. Tommy Withers coming down for an unscheduled stop here. Coming in maybe the top off. He will be the only car to come back down again, as we've now officially got the 1 to go. So we'll take a look at the top 10 here. It is Millet, Feather Place, row number 1. Michelle Pinnell, row 2. Gaiman Hagen, row 3. Zier Proudfoot, row 4. Ryan Pinnell, Seth Wansing, your first 5 rows coming to the green flag on lap 40. Again, stage ends on, I will confirm that number, but I did say 95, and I will make sure it is 95. It is 90, not 95. So about 50 laps wait these drivers, 51 for the end of the stage. So will be on Zach Millet as they come into the restart zone here. Green flag is in the air. Away we go. Good launch by the 31. Let's head off into stage number 2. Ooh, you see right there, he's going to wait for the lap to play out, but Daniel Michelle got doored there by Cody Pinnell. Maybe Pinnell, Michelle doored Pinnell. Either way, they both touched there. And that's going to cost him a little bit of time here. It's straight, but Michelle will get 3rd. Pinnell will fall down in 4th. But lap 1 of stage 2 will be led similar to who led lap 1 of stage 1. It was Zach Millet still leading the way. Now with stage being a little bit longer, these drivers may be a little less ace, I should say. Try to make aggressive moves here. Try to head towards the front. You can see John Hagen gonna clip the wall just a bit there. Gonna put him under pressure here. So you gotta be careful. Hit the wall too many times. You be careful. As also we see there, Hagen bumps out. So Feather Place though, very low off corner exit there. He's under pressure here for 2nd. Michelle, his teammate on the high side. Now Cody Pinnell looking to try to make a move as well. Featherplayer was able to survive the charge in the first stage. Looks like to be a little bit struggling here in stage 2 as he's going to fall down to 4th here. John Hagen, though, thought about making a move, just didn't really want to send it there. Some driver that is, though, Seth Wansing. Aggressive move there to try to get around Proudfoot here, but cannot really get the job done. He'll get back in his line in his spot. Looks on Hagen, though, and Feather Place has to be careful not fall into the clutches of Hagen. Meanwhile, Gaiman is under attack there by Proudfoot. Hits the wall almost again there, but driver running fast right now is Cody Pinnell. Fastest lap on the track there. Purple last lap, purple sector 1 this time by. He is feeling confident in his number 38 machine. As right now he is currently trying to make a move with Michelle. We'll see if he can run a purple lap here again. He can actually. So another purple lap there by Cody Pennell. Problem is, though, he's stuck in a little bit of traffic here. Can't move forward. We're going to cut back to what we were watching a second later, though. You can see pretty trained up here throughout the next spots. Feather Place, Hagen, Gaiman, Proudfoot, and Wanzing all in tow. Let's see a little bit further back here. I think it was Roberts and Louis Pelletier Sharp here. They were kind of close. It was them. It's actually this battle here between Ryan Gomes and Stefan Oberstedt and Light McQueen scheme here. As Oberstedt will hold off the charge. Oberstedt is a playoff driver here. Let's make sure he can benefit on the spots he can get. Looking for the back as well. You can see Tom Sears here and David Wright in a bit of a battle. Jared Braille trying to move forward after his incident in the first stage. See Braille going to try to go low side on Ross Baxter and will get the job cleared. So, yes, Daddy Machine will get clear. Now side by side, Wright clips the wall there just a bit. Braille looking to make it a 2-for-1 here. His Mongol, his teammate, trying to follow suit as well. Another hit there from Wright. Really scuffing up the right start. That's why they say you get the Darlington stripe when you run here. Is more than likely you're going to tap the outside wall at least once throughout your lap here at Darlington. Oh, big, incident situation there as well. As you can see, Braille gets a little corrected there. He hits the wall. He's going to lose all those spots he just gained. Luckily, didn't get turned around. And now he's going to be battling his teammate, Austin Mongold, just outside the top 10 here. As obviously, that car found victory lane last week at Daytona. It was piloted by Kenny Reel, filling in for Braille last week. Braille now currently sitting in 19th position. Cut back up to the lead here. Dan Michelle's got a little bit of a buffer over to Cody Pennell. Obviously, Zach Millett still leading the way in his machine. John Hagen there, you can see right there, getting a slight distance over Brandon Featherplate. And you can see the train. It's 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th all in a line here. They've just hit lap 450. About 40 to go in stage number 2. Brendan Roberts. That's the wrong camera. That's the camera we're looking for. As you can see, side by side at the moment with Kevin Feemster on the low side. Roberts gets around and ups to Feemster. That's finished with second last year at Atlanta. As he hits the wall, good ton there. Roberts now get a little bit of distance, so we now cut back to Roberts. And actually we'll go to Seth Munson just to show you how close it is. Proudfoot, Gaiman, Featherplace, Hagen, all pretty much under a blanket here. Just trying to get the run they need. See right there, Wanzing trying to make a move on Proudfoot. But I want to note as we watch this battle here, you see it play on. Michelle is keeping Millett honest at the moment. Cut back up to that in a second here. We actually show here. There's Zach Michelle. There's Zach Millett. Millett was able to pull away from the field, put about 2.5 second gap. But here, Millett and Michelle running dead even laps. Last time by, 29.70 for Millett, 29.71 for Dan Michelle. We'll check again this time by, see where they clock out. Big Millett's going to go a little faster this time by. Yep, 29.79 for Millett and 29.97 for Michelle. So right now they're running dead even. So maybe Millett's spent a little bit of a match here with Michelle. But the problem right now is obviously Michelle a little bit too farther back to kind of act on. Even Cody Pennell running kind of even laps with right now Millett as well. It's pretty much the whole team is kind of running similar laps. As we'll check the stripe this time by as Millett crosses the line now. Millet runs a 29.82, and as the rest of the field updates here, we'll see if anyone runs faster. Fast lap was him on the track at that moment. Next fastest, though, was Cody Pennell in third. So we have to keep an eye on these times as they fly. We're going to cut back here. As you see, again, it's kind of getting scrunched up here. Like there's notice, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th, all pretty scrunched up here. We're actually going to look for back. Lilac Sear here. Looks like she lost a couple spots, had a bit of a mistake. She's lost at least a few to both Overstat and Gomes, and she's fallen back a little bit here in her number 89 machine. We're going to see there is a major battle here kind of covering. Everyone's pretty much spaced out here. I actually say that. You can see right there, you can see Josh Gaiman low in the corner. I think he's taking a pit stop here if I ever can grab him. There he is. He is coming on in. So there were questions drivers can make it to the end stage, and he is in along with Markowski for a second time, but obviously Markowski may be a little bit off sequence here because of staying out under the green flag to get away with the lap back. So Gaiman first in, going for the undercut here. And this is where drivers like Tom Sears, for instance, kind of thrive in making the fuel economy work to get a magical number in the stage. So let's keep an eye if anyone else pits. We do have another tank here. Brent Roberts, he is in as well. In his Lowe's Jimmy Johnson throwback here. The question is, how powerful is the undercut? Find out in due time as these two drivers both come down. So have to make notes of Gaiman and Roberts as they go around this circuit here. Find a battle here right now. Everyone's pretty much single file spaced out, so it's pretty much the waiting game here. Roberts, though, his box thought it was for a long time here. And away he goes. He'll take 2 tires and away he will fly. About dead even, actually about, 3 seconds slower in his pit lane time than he was to Josh Gaiman. Now you can see Gaiman going around the high side there. And keep an eye on Gaiman right now, who's kind of buried in traffic. Mid 61 machine. Right now sitting at the moment in P3. Actually, we're going to cut back to second position. Just saw it pop up on timing and scoring. Pennell made a move on Daniel Michelle for second. So put Michelle now down to third. Put Pennell up to second. John Hagan is also ready to crash the party as well, but they've fallen about 3 and some change back to Zach Milton, who currently sits in the 8th position. With 30 to go in the stage, we see right there John Hagan wanted to make a move on Michelle. I wonder again if these drivers trying to maybe save that number, if it even if it's a savable number. So Hagan almost on the corner panel there. Side by side, Hagan lost some time now on Feather Place's radar here. They'll be side by side for the top 5 here. Not making mistakes. It's not about really making problems here. Trying to run hard and aggressive here. With Feather Place here. Love using this onboard shot. We'll actually show it in a second here as well. Actually, we'll go inside the cockpit of Feather Place's machine here. All right, obviously, last win was over a year ago too, but was the regular season champion last season. Hagan, another hit in the wall. This is also another effect these drivers are feeling as well. Tire wear and tire fall off. At the moment, looking at the times we were talking about last time by, John Hagan was the fastest on track. 30.28 in comparison to Millet's 30.41, and then Brandon Featherplace is 30.42. So these drivers are running kind of around dead even at times with Millet. The problem is Millet is just consistently putting them down. This car's kind of struggling, especially in traffic, to really make advantage of make haste, I should say, is the word I was looking for. As that time by Millet ran at 30.43, next fastest was Featherplace, who we're watching on boarded with a 30.41, actually going faster. Still no drivers have taken down pit lane yet as well. Only one of the drivers come down. Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence has pitted from, he was a lap down, he's about 26, so no major runners inside the top 15 have pitted yet. Another driver coming in, Mark DeLayla, in his number 80 machine. He's in the pit box as well. So drivers are slowly peeling off, but Gaiman and Roberts went for the super undercut to use those fresh tires, and the rest of the field stays out. Here's Zach Millet still leading the way, now 4 clear of Cody Pinnell. Looks like a battle shaking up between Seth Wanzi and Will Pelletier Sharp here. Wanzi got in the wall just a bit there. That's allowing the 18 machine to slowly reel in that number 9. We get a full run there coming down the straight. Wanzi still holding his nerve right now. Every point matters when you need it, especially around here. Ooh, battle for third raging on between Michelle and Hagan. I think Hagan tried to make a lunge here. Let's see if we can take a look at it in a second. Exactly, I was caught a little bit at the wheel there, watching the battle there, as well as Stefan Oberstadt and David Wright. So we're going to cut there. You can see Oberstadt and Wright, 2 playoff drivers. There's Gaiman and Roberts, not for position. They're trying to get up to the field as quick as they can. Trying to take advantage of those fresh tires. Ooh, Wright and Oberstadt. This is not what you want to see if you're a car just trying to get through the laps here. Side by side for top 10. Oberstadt mows down the wall there just a bit. Side by side. We're staying on this battle for a second, but Hagan Michelle also fighting as well. Oh, Wright got into Roberts. Roberts lost it up the front stretch. Cars spinning, cars avoiding. Still no sign of a caution yet. Wright and Roberts still fighting. I'll take a look, as I just missed Brent Roberts entirely there, as he is still battling. He was further down here. There you can see the torn accident right there in the 84 machine. We'll take just a quick look, as I was kind of just trying to find him, but realized he was a lap down. So we'll take a look, see exactly what happened. You can see 2 cars fighting hard. White got sent to Roberts, and that's what I was talking about. You got to be careful when you go back there. Roberts backs down, though. Again, 1 car incident comes up just a bit, but luckily no one hits him. So close to seeing a second car pile in. They'll then get it fired back up, and the race will continue on. He's actually going to stay out here on his movie machine. David Wright coming on in this time by, along with Ryan Gomes and Kevin Feemster. There's Kevin Feemster already in his box. Going up front, John Hagan. Now able to get around Michelle. See if we can take a quick look at that move as well, because we're kind of watching the battle in the wreck there. Here's the incident that happened for P3. See, Michelle gets held up a little bit by traffic. Mark DeLayla, who is currently on a lap down. You can see Hagan go on the inside, slide on up, and easy as that sometimes to make a move around here, cutting off the 25's advantage and putting anyone up to third. Still up front, it's Zach Millet has yet to peel off. Another car coming in, Stefan Oberstadt in his number 3 machine. He is in with 26 laps to go in the stage. So assuming the rest of the field will have to pit, I don't think anyone can magically make it to the end. We've seen stranger things happen. As you can see right now, the 31 going to put down John Smeal, 1 down here. Actually, he'll put him another down. Actually, sorry, it's not even John Spiel. John Spiel used to drive the car. James Wright, he'll put him another down, put him now 4 down in his number 13 machine. Seth Wansing, Brandon Proudfoot, and there you see Proudfoot coming on in his number 22 machine. Will be one of the first major runners in the top 10 to pit after what Gaiman and Roberts did. Both he and Feather place in their box at the moment. And Cody Pennell and John Hagan having a close battle here for second. I think Cody Pennell solidified he is coming in. And he will pit, and he will give up second position. John Hagan will get 4 fresh tires on that machine, presumably, or at least get fuel in it enough to get to the end of the stage. So now the question again is an if not when for our race leader, when he may elect to pit. Major runners inside the top 10 right now. Coming that time by. Ooh, we just had, as I speak into existence, Lloyd Pelletier-Sharp will pit. So put Pelletier-Sharp in pit lane here. Now we'll put another car up. And while we watch this green flag pit stops occur here, we'd like to thank everyone that's tuned in for our first ACE race on YouTube. My name is Kevin Young, and thank you for tuning in us here on this Sunday evening for A Squared action. Obviously, the next 7 rounds will all be on the ABN Family Networks. Most of them will probably be on the YouTube channel, so make sure you come back here next week, 7 p.m. Eastern, for Watkins Glen, where 4 drivers will be eliminated from the playoffs and cut the field down to 12. Still live, though. Obviously, we're not signing off here, just letting you know that what programming is for next week. As Brent Roberts hits the limit just a little bit, trying to get his lap back from Zach Millett. At the moment, top 11 and yet to make a pit stop. Josh Battles, right, you can see right here up the road. Last car yet to pit from the first stage here. A good chance he will now go 1 down. Now Seth Wansing is in his number 9 machine. Obviously running the scheme similar to what he usually runs, but obviously a homage to the National Guard machine of Dale Jr. Milt's still working his way through traffic here, and this is another part that can be a bit sketchy. Is if you catch traffic at the wrong time in the wrong spot, it can leave you kind of vulnerable to get caught or passed. Right now, though, Millett really carving his way through it. Very much ease. Dan Michelle also at the moment, we were on the TV camera there, you can see now coming in his number 25. Now, I should note right now, as you watch Michelle come in, right now, the first car that came in was Josh Gaiman about 20 laps before the rest of the field. Here's Josh Gaiman right now. Here's Cody Pennell. The gap between Pennell and Gaiman was about, Pennell and Millett was about 4 seconds when Pennell came in, maybe 4.5. So we need to keep that number in mind as we see this go around. Now, obviously, right now, Pennell and Gaiman, but Gaiman's running 30.60s and Cody Pennell's running 30.91s, which are still about even-ish with Zach Millett. As now Millett's coming in along with Davey Hawk. So race leader in. Now the question I was trying to make my point here was keeping an eye on the undercut, how much time they're really gaining on the undercut. I think Millett should still come out with the lead. This Gaiman really has running the fastest laps he can. That will promote John Hagan to the lead. He will take the lead here and get we'll get a lap back. Will lead a lap. I don't think he gets any bonus points. So Hagan is here, 1-2 at the moment. See Ryan Pennell here. He will take 3rd position away. The question is, can anyone have the matched fuel economy to get to the end of the stage here? We'll find out in due time. I think a few drivers will try to push it. As you can see here now, John Hagan, he's coming in. He will not risk it. He will come in. That will promote the lead to Lilac. She wants to stay out, which she will. So Zier across the line. 8 laps to go in the stage. And again, if you do try to stay out, you got to have enough fuel to get to the end of stage and then 1 extra lap. So you got to have 9 laps of fuel to the good here if you don't want to face the wrath of a penalty when you pit. Worth noting, though, as we see other cars pit in here, Zier and will come in along with, she'll come in alone. I should say. John Hagen's still in the box. But this is something else for these drivers coming in now. Hagen just took 2 tires, took fuel only. Zach Millet came in for 4 fresh tires. So Millet took 4 tires. The rest of the cars around him took fuel only in their runs. As now Millet's caught up in traffic trying to make a move around Brandon Featherplace here, which would be de facto, right now in the top 10, but would be de facto P5 when it cycles through. Look at those fresh tires carved from the field here, making a move around the 38, the 25. Made 3 moves in 1 corner there. Zach Millet is flying. As you can see, a few other cars pit through Zier and Pinnell. So they will give up the lead to Tom Sears, and this is what I was talking about. Tom Sears finds magical fuel economy when you need it to get stage points. As we watch Zach Millet try to make a move here on Hagen, we're keeping an eye on this battle. You can also see in the background Featherplace and Pinnell fighting for what is currently P8. Shell just low down the wall. Millet gets the move here done. Now going to set his sights on Gaiman as now Mongol pits. Speaking of, there's Cody Pinnell getting passed by Brandon Featherplace. But the eye on the prize at the moment is Tom Sears, who's leading the way. Tommy Withers, remember, came in and topped off. So he's got 2 extra laps of fuel in comparison to Tom Sears. And then you got Josh Gaiman here, currently sitting in 3rd position, close to getting caught by Zach Millet here, who's got 4 fresh tires. Basically use those fresh tires to try to ensure he wins the stage here, and maybe possibly stay out if need be. But probably would come in for 4 fresh tires again when the stage ends. Side by side though, what could be de facto lead if the top 2 cars pit. Millet going to make the job done, and now put Millet up to 3rd. Gaiman now down to 4th. So the eye on the prize, we watched Michelle and Featherplace fight here. 2 teammates for Line Power duke it out. As the team also leads the way, as Brandon Featherplace will make the move successfully on the 25. Back to Tom Sears. Does he have the magical fuel economy to make it? We know he knows how to do this. And actually, go inside his cockpit here. That's the scenic camera. And you can listen to this lap here. You can see how much he's coasting. We're going to let the next lap pay out kind of silently to the corner. But keep an eye on that little bar on the screen right now, right with 0 to 10 on it. Watch his RPMs too as he goes off into 1 here. Lifting for about 4 seconds, 3 seconds there down the backstretch. And I don't think he's going to win this stage at the moment. Millet is coming hard at the moment. Millet's about 3 back at the moment. You can see on the time of the scoring board. There's another big lift by Tom Sears there. Even longer just to try to make it. This is going to be interesting to see if he can win this stage at the moment. He's losing a lot of time here. For reference, he's running 32.2s when Zach Millet's running 29.9s. So I think Millet will get there, but it still will be at least a net gain on stage points. Tommy Withers also trying the same strategy at the moment. He's been caught by the pack. He's fallen down the 2nd, now 3rd. The question is, can Tom Sears hang on, A, to win the stage? And question 2 is if he can hang on to win the stage. Is there enough fuel to make it back? As it comes to the white flag to the stage, Zach Millet just going to pass him like he's pan still. Millet to the point. Millet takes the flag and the white flag in the stage as he's going to drive away. And Tom Sears maybe hoping that Millet wasn't here as Gaiman was not going to catch him. Would have been the next car on strategy. Keep an eye on Sears and Withers. Gaiman going to make a move. Withers going to lose in more spots here, just trying to bring it home. But as Millet comes off a 3 and 4, he is going to win stage number 2 here. Zach Millet, your stage 2 winner here at Darlington. Tom Sears in 2nd. Great save by Tom Sears. He'll make the save work here, get himself 9 juicy stage points. Josh Gaiman in 3rd, John Hagen in 4th. I'm sorry, Tommy Withers in 5th, John Hagen in 4th. Cody Pinnell there in 6th. Peltier Sharp in 7th, Brandon Featherplace 8th, Dan Michelle 9th, and Lilac Sear getting the last stage point in P10. The only drivers not to get stage points, Brandon Proudfoot, Seth Wanzing, Stefan Oberstadt, Davey Hawk, all playoff drivers, with Feimster, Wright, Markowski, and Braille all currently at least 1 down, or multiple down, as Feimster, Wright, Markowski, and Braille 2 and 3 down respectively. Which is definitely going to hurt them in the playoffs for long. Pit lane now, crowded place. Sears looks like he officially ran out of fuel here entering the pit lane. So he has officially ran out. Withers has enough. to get to his box. Sears is going to lose bigly on the pit lane entry here. I don't think he's going to have enough to get to his box. We'll stay on board here with Sears here just for a second. Should be worth noting every car came in except for Zach Millet, so no even cars will even get their wave around with Zach Millet staying out. Mark DeLeo also going to stay out as well, as he will now inherit second position. This is just agonizing. A slow crawl for Tom Sears here. His box so far away, and this could be what could hurt him the most here. He was probably going to at least go at 1 down if 2 if he came in, but now the question is, how many laps will he lose to try to get to his box? Maybe hoping he got a bad qualifying spot, possibly. There you can see the 14 up the road right there. He's almost there. He's crawling to his pit box in his WM machine here. And as he will hit his box, you do not want to miss it right now, as he will stop perfectly and he will get at least some service. So Tom Sears will make it, but he will lose a lot of track position for coming in here. Here's Zach Millet, stayed out, like I said, under the caution. And now Tom Sears should probably go 1 down here, as he now leaves his box. Actually, he will avoid going lap down. So all's well that ends well for Sears, but he will lose at least a couple spots. Mark DeLeo will also pit here as well, so he will not stay in second position. He will come on in for service as well. So he should get the one to go next to him by. You can see at least a few cars there pinned by Millet staying out. You can see Kevin Feemster on the low side. He was looking to get one of his laps back. He will not now be able to. So he will come on in for service. Just try to get off sequence here and try to make something happen in his machine. Again, let's take this opportunity. Thank you for everyone tuning in here again on ABN Studios here for the first live broadcast of the ARCS Midwest Barbecue Ace 4 Cup Series, usually seen on Twitch, ABN2, Twitch TV, Twitch.com, ABN2. I was trying to think of how to word that, but now here on YouTube. So thank you all for tuning in here, as we now got officially the one to go here. It is going to be Millet Gaiman, row number 1 here, with Hagen, Proudfoot, row 2, Pinnell, Feather Place, row 3, Michelle Sharp, row 4, Zier Oberstadt, your first 5 rows here. Millet's been dominating this race so far. He's led the majority of the laps. Honestly, he's led almost all the laps. Obviously, a few extra lead changes when we saw the cycle go through. But Millet has been the dominating force. And the question is, can anyone challenge him? Josh Hammond showed some good speed. He'll be on and outside the front row. You got Hagen, who's put some good times down. Proudfoot, Feather Place. All going to try to challenge that 31. Try to be a spoiler and not allow the 31 to punch his ticket to the next round. Pace car should get on ready here to pull on off, and it's going to be on the 31's control.
Green flag, green flag.
Green flag is out, and the final stage is underway here at Darlington. One in the stage here. Millet will lead it how he led it. He will still lead the way, but John Hagen can try to be a 4 in that 31 side. It's Millet, Hagen, Gaiman, Proudfoot, Feather Place for top 5. see how it all plays out. I was trying to look at my numbers here, look at some numbers here. Now, worth noting, we'll put this in kind of the magical number box here for a second. We saw drivers come in at the bare minimum. You can go about 50 laps on a tank fuel here. As you can see, looking for the next F1s and Cody Pennell fighting here. So I'll have to hold that thought for a second here as watch the battle rages on. But cars can make about 50 laps if they really stretch it on fuel. Safe to assume, because it went from 40 to 90 under green flag conditions. If we stay at the moment, we're at, with 184 laps in this race, only at lap 98, where these drivers last pitting at 91. Do some quick math. That's 86 laps. So these drivers can comfortably make it into that, but that's a 43 lap stint. So if it stays green, these cars are going to have to really save hard here to make that number and then save back. And obviously, if we get a caution, things can change dramatically for the better or the worse, depending on the situation. Pennell will keep the charge and keep Seth Wansing back in sixths. Up front, though, we'll cut back. Zach Milton pulling away from John Hagan. Purple Sector 1 for the 31 car. John Hagan now sits in second position, just trying to claw his way forward here. Trying to get a lunge here. As you can see, there's Hagan right there in second. And you got Gaiman and Proudfoot here battling hard for third. See right there, Gaiman and Proudfoot side by side. Not side by side yet. They were side by side for a second there. We've got it refixed up here. Some purple laps, though, for Cody Pennell. Saw him light up the time he was scoring all purple. So Cody Pennell, again, has good short-run pace, but really seems kind of struggle on the long pace here. Into the Gaiman and Proudfoot here. Nose to tail. Gaiman right now holding on to the charges here and not allowing anyone to really pass on by. Another purple sector for Cody Pennell, though, so he is coming in his number 38 machine. He is flying. He's really making as much as he needs to be. John Hagan right now still in second. He's keeping Millet honest. Watch the light board this time by. Millet runs, going to run here. We actually have a caution, so we'll have to hold that thought. See exactly who it was for. It looks like it was James Wright. See him spin on the backstretch here. Markowski looks okay. I'm looking for cars maybe around him on track. Ross Baxter, Alpha Georgian take the flag. Braille looks okay. Battles. Ooh, Lawrence looks a little banged up. But it looks like James Wright was a single car and possibly really had to get some help somewhere in this incident. So we'll take a look here and see what exactly happened for the first actual caution of the night, non-stage caution, I should say. Watching the 13 at the moment, gets loose off the backstretch. Oh, it gets to the Ryan Pennell, and they both go down there, and that is two cars. They will both be there, and both will be involved in the incident. We'll take a second look here as well at the point of caution. This time we'll focus on Ryan Pennell, who's having a good run going, but involved in an incident here. We'll stay on board here with the 12 machine of Ryan Pennell, just to kind of watch what happened to him. You can see the 13 just gets a little loose, gets caught. 12 just couldn't find a way around. They both go to the inside wall. Pennell really avoids major damage there, but James Wright really tore up his machine. As you can see right there, basically stationary, so he's just trying to spin it around here. One last look we'll take at this incident again, this time from James Wright again. We'll follow James Wright again here. Just gets loose, gets 2 times loose off exit like a lot of cars have done. And then inside wall, big lick there. And that could pretty much end the day for James Wright if he does not have a fast remaining in that 13. Back live action, you can still see the torn up 13 there. Still at least looks like it's driving, so you do not have to tow in. Interesting round of pit stops here, though. Gaiman came in along with the rest of the field here. Well, Gaiman came in along with a handful of drivers. Gaiman, Proudfoot, Pennell, and Michelle all elected to take fuel only. Millet, Hagan, Oberstadt, everyone else behind. To Tom Sears taking 4 tires in their stop. And then You got Wanzing, Zier, Sharp, Featherplace, Withers, Roberts, all electing to stay out here. So obviously you can't make it to the end here from pitting here. You'd still be short, but you could take less fuel on your final pit stop here and make it a little bit more of a comfortable number. So different strategies here is you're going to have Millet, Hagen, Oberstedt, and Delela on the freshest tires. Then you're going to have Game and Proudfoot, Pinnell, and Michelle all going to have better track position, but came in the top off, so they can go a little bit longer than the cars 6th on above here. So we should get the one to go this time by. Do a quick race recap right now at the moment. I think we have 19 cars on the lead lap. I think Davey Hawk's the last car on the lead lap. Actually, I think he is one down. I think we have 18 at the moment. Yeah, because Kevin Feemster's a couple down. Davey Hawk is checking here. Yeah, he's one down. So Hawk is one down. Looks like he got one of his laps back. Austin Mongol at the moment, I believe, is on the lead lap as well. So we have 18 cars on the lead lap. Here's Ryan Pinnell. One of the last cars on lead lap. There's Austin Mongol sitting in pit lane. And the rest of the field being about 2-3 down. That's going to allow Hawk a good chance to get back on the lead lap here. So he'll be pretty much the only one on his lap. So if we get another caution before this thing is through, and he doesn't go another down, or if he's not involved in it, he should be priority to get his lap back. But then you can see it's a dogfight between the 2 down and 3 down crew. And these are holes that Wright, Feemster, Braille, and Markowski don't need. As we'll take a look again at the standings real fast coming into tonight. Not taking any playoff points into consideration, or obviously stage points. You can see with Braille being multiple down, he's only 5 above the cut line. And as for Markowski, Feemster, and Wright, they all were dead heat of 0. So this is a good chance for Hawk maybe to get a little extra breathing room going into the road course of Watkins Glen next week. As well, with Miller having 2 good stage points, that's going to probably pretty much lock him in. Hagen looking poised. As long as he can keep a good finish here, he should be locked in. That's the wrong graphic. And everyone else looking to try to in between. So it's going to be Wanzing, Sharp, row 1, Zier, Featherplace, row 2, Withers, Roberts, row 3, Game and Proudfoot, row 4, and Cody Pinnell and Daniel Michelle, your first 5 rows here. Control is going to be on Seth Wanzing when we get the green flag. So his pace car pulls on off here. Again, going to be on Seth Wanzing's control. Green flag is out, and away we go. Wanzing with a great launch there. See the rest of the cars fight for second between Zier and Sharp. Battle on for second here. Now the question again, like I was proposing, how quick can those fresh tire drivers get through this field here? Oh, that's the wrong camera. That's the camera going. We have Fox Sports camera actions here. As he battle for one with Zier. Going to try to go low side on Seth Wanzing. Looks like Kevin Feemster had to toe to pit lane here. We'll take a look in a second here. There's Kevin Feemster in the wide shot there. And we now have a yellow flag. So Wanzing and Zier will hold 1-2. Looks like Tom Sears also was involved in this incident here. Possibly, as you can see him slow on the track. Davey Hawk looks okay. Trying to see at the moment. We'll take a look here and see exactly what caused this. Obviously, Feemster had his incident, then Tom Sears came in a little bit later. So here's Kevin Feemster. You already can see up the road maybe something occurring at the moment with John Smeal. So we're going to rewind just a bit. We're going to pause here. We're going to go up to James Wright. Sorry, when you see a driver drive that car for 20 weeks, like 16 weeks is one name and flip over the last second, it can be a little bit tricky. So we'll focus on James Wright for a second here. He goes up. Oh, Hawk and them touch. That's not the point of caution, though. Their Feemster runs in, and they get stuck together. That's pretty much almost a caution right there. They both get stuck. We stay green for a moment. Feemster obviously has to jump the pit lane, and then Tom Sears had his own little spin here. Unrelated. Oh, he got hooked on Pinnell. So probably we should have been the caution was back here, but then was thrown right about here with Sears getting basically spun by Pinnell. Sears doesn't hit anything, though. He does a full 180 other than probably... Oh, no, he hits Davey Hawk. Okay. That's what he ended up hitting there. Well, Davey Hawk kind of involved in both incidents there. Just innocent by, so that's going to allow Hawk not the chance to get back on the lead lap here. So we'll focus on Feemster first, and then we'll cut to the Sears incident. So again, we'll watch Feemster again. Going into the corner, he just runs into him. Just nowhere to go is the speed differential. They get stuck together. That pretty much just kills Feemster's car. Then we're going to pause here for a second. We're going to cut to the second one. We're just going to do the magic of cutting. There you can see Ryan Pinnell and Tom Sears. This is a half lap back. There you can see the hook right down the back stretch. I'm actually going to rewind here again. I know. Doing a lot of rewinding, but I'm going to go for the eye in the sky camera here. That's the wrong one. That's the right one. We're going to play it at a 4 speed here. And it looks like Sears was just kind of go low. Pinnell was maybe trying to come up, both fighting over the same real estate. And then there's the hook. That sent Sears flying down the road here. And then up the road where Davey Hawk had nowhere to go. We'll take one last look at this real fast. We'll focus on Davey Hawk here. If I can ever get the right replay here. There we go. And we'll cut to Davey Hawk in his number 28 machine. And we'll actually ride on board with Davey Hawk as he was involved in both incidences indirectly. So we'll watch Davey Hawk's whole lap here of misery, you could argue. So you're on the road here. Him and Smeal get together. Smeal hits the wall. You can see right there, there's the incident between Feimster and them. Then up front, you're going to see there goes Tom Sears. Hawk trying to avoid it as Sears come up the road, trying to get on the brakes. Not enough room for both to clear there as both of them get some light damage. So back to live action. Here's Davey Hawk right now. That's finishing 4th at Gateway in 2022. Zier, though, was able to get the lunge on Wanzing, so Zier will now have control of the restart. No other notable names came in that time by, as we're still kind of early to make for a final pit stop yet. Again, 50 would be the magical number if you could clutch and save to make it. If you really saved it, 50 is that magical number. If you do the Tom Sears approach, and even then, probably cost too much time to even be content to win this race, but you never know. And right now, we're still not there yet. That would be about lap 34, give or take, probably a little bit under that. So we're still about 20 laps away from being in the window to make it to the end on no more stops. Well, one stop to no stops, I should say. So anyway, coming to the green flag this time, it's going to be Zier and Wanzing row 1, Sharp Roberts row 2, Feather Place Proudfoot row 3, Gaiman Withers row 4, Michelle Pinnell your first 5 rows, Zach Millett still really not gone anywhere, obviously it was only half a lap in row number 6 along with John Hagan. So that's how the first 6 rows will fire off. Pace car pulls on off. It's going to be on Zier's control this time by instead of Wanzing's. Green is out. Away we go. And you can see a major checkup there on the low side and the high side. Sharp and Zier both get clear here. Wanzing will fall down to 3rd. Now you're wondering if there's any possibly damage because of that big checkup there between the inside and outside lines. If anyone may have damaged the front end or possibly even really pancaked someone. Battle up front. Sharp wants the lead here. Maybe on the corner panel is Zier. Presidential Racing going against Gear Cats. Presidential Racing will hold firm. Will keep the spot. So give Zier a lap lead. Zier, Sharp, Wanzing, Roberts, Proud for your top 5. Further back, you can see Cody Pinnell, Tommy Withers, John Hagan, Zach Millett, all trying to carve up through the field here. Millett already up to 9th. Withers beginning to fall and still fall here. Stafford Overstep with a big old send there. Focusing on Withers here, because you just see he's really sinking here in his McDonald's machine. The rest of the cars follow suit. Try to get around him. There you can see Braille and Withers side by side. Gomes, Ryan Pinnell there. Focus this for a second because this is kind of close at the moment. We're keeping an eye on some things like Zach Millett is really just set the actually, Dave Michelle just set the fast lap this race. I thought it was Zach Millett, but it actually is Dave Michelle who stole it from Millett. As this settled out here, you can see Dave Michelle here sitting in 8th. Getting a charge here is caught Gaiman and Feather Place, along with Millett coming in the distance as well. A little bit further up, Sharp and Wanzing are side by side for second. Sharp gets in the wall there. Another wall tap by Sharp. Tried not to hook Seth Wanzing there. Seth in second, Sharp in 3rd. Up Sharp, maybe not too thrilled. She kind of got used up there. It's a nature of the beast around Darlington, but you know what goes around can come around. Cut back just a little bit, Proudfoot and Feather Place, and Gaiman all in this shot here. We're wide on board with Dave Michelle here. He's got a great view of what he's seeing here at the moment. See Roberts trying to make a move on Sharp. On the low side, almost touch. Then you can see Proudfoot going to come through. We're going to go wide shot here. Proudfoot going to try to make run Roberts. Good lunge there by Proudfoot in his pink wheel twisted metal machine, and he will get clear. Put Proudfoot up a spot, so Roberts going for a move on Sharp. Couldn't get it done. Ends up losing a spot for his troubles. Back there, you can see Zach Millett and Dan Michelle side by side. You see Hagen and Pennell also side by side. Trying to do something. You see Millett maybe try to come in the middle there. It's going to be pinned low. Now Hagen to try to rip it around the high side. This is the battle of the two strongest cars tonight. You could argue between the 81 and 31. Also, the two drivers have the highest likelihood to make it to Homestead in Championship 4. So Millett really going the wrong way here, trying to find a way up, and he ends up punching Corey Pennell there. That's going to be more spots lost for the 31, so really buried in traffic. That car is beginning to struggle for Zach Millett, who's been dominating this race. Cut back up here, you can see Gaiman and Roberts having a bit of a little bit of tussle here. One single file for the most part, but you can see within striking distance is Michelle trying to go high side on Feather Place. Gaiman's going to try to go low side on Roberts. And single file throughout this back here. Also caught getting to Roberts here a little bit. Roberts has fallen to the clutch distance here. Gaiman looking to try to make a move around here. 16 some change to go here. Battle for, I would say it's not second. Sharp is up the road there, but she looks like she's battling traffic here. Yeah, that's Proudfoot is actually reeled in Sharp. So that is for position. Proudfoot's made a move for third. Roberts, Gaiman, Michelle here. Gaiman almost gets into Michelle. Michelle has hit the wall evasively. Then you get to see Brandon Featherplace and John Hagen there. This is pretty much what we've seen throughout the night. Kind of a pack forming cars, really kind of running dead even times, and not really able to break away or really do anything. But now going to try to come up and clear. Can get the job done. So put Pennell up to 9th. Featherplace now falling down to 10th. Roberts, Gaiman, they'll be side by side heading off in the 3. Can either driver get a lunge here? This can still hold defensively for the moment. Hagen on the high side there of Daniel Michelle. And Hagen's has some speed, but has been buried in traffic. Has a chance to flex that muscle. Gaiman going to try to get around Roberts. We're focusing on the lead here in a second. We're going to cut that in a second. It's Michelle, Hagen, Pennell, 3 wide here. Millett's rejoined the fray. Just nowhere to take it, though. Sheldon, a big loser there. He lose 4 spots. It's now, he ends up getting in the Feather Place. He'll have to lose some more time here. He'll slot back up here just side by side with Overstaff, but now Michelle going wrong way quickly here. Just from 1 3-wide position, he ended up being the big loser there. Like as promised, we're still focused on this though. The lead is getting close between Hagen, Wanting, and Zier. we're focusing on this right now is it is just a scrap back here between playoff drivers. Major implications. This is settled out for the moment. We're going to cut back up to the lead, and I'll show you what I was seeing. Zier and Wanzing, 1-2 at the moment. They've been leading this way and really keeping distance on Proudfoot and the rest of the field, so you kind of respect it. They've really made this clean track work and this strategy work out. It's just that when you have top 5 to top 10 basically scrapping it out, getting the fenders out, every spot, you kind of have to focus on that when you can. We'll stay here in these top 2, give them their moment in the sun right now and really show out that they've made the strategy work, but they'll have to come in earlier, by about 10 laps earlier than the rest of the field here. So they'll get the undercut, but they could be under poise on the long game here. Again, scheduled pit stop for them would be around lap. Gonna do the math here in a second on that while we watch this battle play out. Around maybe coming up here, maybe just on the north end of 35, 140 should be their lap. They will come on in, give or take, maybe even try to push it just a little bit as far as they can. They are in close to getting into their window to make it to the end on that being their last stop. So we'll take this opportunity to do kind of a recap rundown of the top 10 here and further on. Lilacs here leading the way with Seth Wanzing sitting in the section. Both drivers needing good playoff runs here. Zier had a good cushion, Wanzing not so much. They easily give themselves a good lunge to make it to the next round. Proudfoot sitting in 3rd right now with Pelletier Sharp in 4th. Bren Roberts, highest of the silver bracket drivers, currently holding 5th down with Josh Gaiman really hounding his back in 6th. Cody Pinnell, the other highest of the silver bracket playoff drivers, in 7th. With Zach Millett, John Hagan, and Brandon Featherplate 8, 9, 10. And you can see Stefan Overstat and Daniel Michelle fighting for 11th. Michelle looking to try to clear Overstat side by side, heading off corner X. There's Gaiman. He looks like he had a little bit of an incident there. He'll lose a couple spots and lose some more. He'll fall at the top 11 here. We'll take a quick look using the power of video editing. We'll rewind here real fast, just to show you exactly what happened. No splash screen because we just want to see what exactly happened. We'll wind out. There's a replay of what Roberts and Gaiman were side by side. Roberts got on the wall, a little bit of net code there, sent Gaiman sideways, kept him sideways, and that's going to put him outside the top 10 here. He's got to save another tanker there. Move on. Ross Baxter looks like he's had an incident somewhere. You can find him on my list of 4. There he is. He's had a spin on the backstretch here. He's gotten refired, not heavy damage for that 60. But if you look at the situation on the track right now, got some comfort distance, but not likely to go a lap down at the moment. So back to the race lead. Zier is now getting the pole a little bit on Wanzing. Wanzing is sitting in the 2nd position. There you can see 3rd place. Lily Peltier Sharp has caught Bren Roberts here for foot to be 4th. And Zach Millett ready to crash the party. He wants his lead back. He wants to get back to where he was. And Sharp mows down that wall. So put Roberts up to 4th. Sharp now to 5th. Zach Millett now in 6th. There's David Ray. He had to come down for service. He will give up his position to come on in. He came in for, actually, I don't think he came in. He looks like he's had a bit of a slow spin there, and he will now go another down. So Zier really pulling on Seth Wanzing here. Wanzing really falling out here. Gap is now 1.47 seconds. Now David Wright, and I think actually Wright may have missed the pit lane the first time by, is why he was slow there. So it's Zier, Wanzing right there. You can see getting the fall back into Proudfoot's clutches. Proudfoot's Roberts. There you can see right there in the far shot. Sharp and Hagan going to be side by side down the long chute here. Hagan clears, put Hagan now up to 6th. Sharp down to 7th. Now Sharp under pressure to lose a couple of spots. Right there, another place ready to try to join the fray here on Stefan Oberstadt. There's a smorgasbord here in this little pack here. This is 7th, the top 12 here on this little bubble we're watching. Meanwhile, Zach Milton's now got the 3rd. We're going to cut to that in a second if Milton makes a move for 2nd here. It's closed up. Yeah, we'll jump to that now. Zach Milton has reeled in Seth Wanzing for 2nd. Again, those 4 tires really working here, as he was one of the few drivers to come in 4 tires under their stop under the last caution, including John Hagan, Brandon Fedplace, and Stefan Oberstadt. But Millet really flexing his muscle here, as he, along with Roberts, looking poised mid-move. You can see in the far shot, Hagan going to make a move on Brandon Proudfoot, but can't get the job done. So Millet and Roberts charging through the field here, second and third respectively. Millet came with, Roberts came within 5 points making playoffs last week. Just had a bad final stage. Looking to try to rectify that with a good run here tonight. Hagan, Proudfoot side by side. Still side by side. Proudfoot really still in charge on that high side. He will clear Hagan. But you know Hagan ain't going to give up that easily on that 22 machine, as we'll see on board with the 81. Just try to get on that corner panel, just couldn't do it. Proudfoot in charge and charge aggressive. Ooh, Peltier Sharks had a moment while we're kind of watching this. She's falling down the order quickly here. She's had a big spin, so we'll take a look here. It's kind of distracted watching that battle, and she was in that pack we were watching. See if anyone else got a piece here. This is a replay of what happened to Sharp. Oh, she got hooked with Pinnell into Gaiman and then sent around. One car went around technically in the incident, so it is still only a single car incident, so technically not a caution, even though Gaiman and Pinnell both got pieces. They did not end up spinning it, so technically we stayed green. As also Sharp got off the racing line. Proudfoot Hagan still battling here, though. Now officially hit lap 140. 45 laps to go. At the moment, Zira is really keeping charge at the top one. Oh, Hagan just shades of what happened in Indianapolis many weeks ago a little bit. Hagan finally cleared Proudfoot. I don't think Proudfoot's going to be too thrilled about that one. If he gets back to him, they both have caught Seth Wanzing. And Wanzing should be hitting his magical number to pit here relatively soon, along with Lilac Zier. Side by side, Hagan and Wanzing are. And Hagan will get clear, so put Hagan down the fourth, Wanzing now down the fifth. We're going to go back to that smorgasbord here, which we got Proudfoot now falling to the clutches of Featherplace and Oberstadt. Featherplace going to try to get clear. Oberstadt going to give him a nice little shove here on the high side. Sharp has just pitted from 18th, and another driver coming in. You can see on the low side, Proudfoot coming in along with Bren Roberts. So pit lane, a crowded place. Final pit stops for most of the field here if they come in now. Roberts, Proudfoot, and Sharp all in. There's Sharp, and there's Proudfoot if we ever can find him. There he is. And then there's Bren Roberts. All in. Alex here still holding away, but Zach Millet's reeling in. As actually you can just see right there, that 89 going to pull on off. Going to give the lead back to Zach Millet. You got to be careful not to spin out of pit lane, as 89 will hit her pit lane commitment line successfully. She will now pit from the lead. That will promote Zach Millet to the lead. Brandon Featherplace, Daniel Michelle also in this time by. That's Kevin Feemster. That's actually Zach. That is a Kevin Feemster. That is Austin Bongold. Here's Daniel Michelle coming in the box along with Brandon Featherplace. Again, pit lane, a crowded place. Millet, Hagan, Wanzing, Oberstadt, Pinnell, your top five. We should probably see Wanzing in this time by, or next time by. And after that, the question is, when will the lap 103s pit? Yep, Seth Wanzing now officially in. My prediction was correct. He is in. So that means at the moment, your top 10, when they cycle through here at the moment, when they cycle through when everyone has already made the first round pit stops here. It's going to be Millet, Hagan, Oberstadt, Pinnell, Gaiman, Gomes, Mongold, Sears, DeLayla, Pinnell, your top 10. All that top 10 will have to pit again. The question is, we'll cycle out with the lead. Right now at the moment, the betting odds favorite is Lilac Zier. She's really on the speed and running. She should cycle back with the lead. The question is, we saw Zach Millet run down Tom Sears and Josh Gaiman with an undercut working. We know Millet can run quite fast. So Milt's probably going to go long. The question is, how long will that 31 go? Two more cars coming in. Oh, one more car coming in. Tom Sears in his box as well, coming in this time by. He will pit. Now, I mean, the top 9 have yet to make their final pit stops. There goes Zach Milt putting Sears 1 down. Just kind of waiting the magical major game here. Gaiman, Pinnell. Gaiman will make the clear on Cody Pinnell. Also a little bit further back, you see on the timing and scoring, Mon will make a move on Gomes as Ryan Gomes will pit. So Drive will come down the pit lane right now for his final stop of the night. Again, eyes are on this top 5 is, again, I know I keep repeating again, but it's really just kind of calculating what's going on. Lilac here will cycle, presumably cycle with the lead when it all cycles through. Right at the moment, she's running 29.33s to, actually, she's running dead even times with Zach Millen. And she had the lead when she pitted. So Zier, as long as she keeps running similar times to Millen, or even better times, will grow her gap. As you can see right there, Gomes will now fall to the top 10, putting Zier and Roberts inside the top 10. But Zier is doing what she needs to do right now. The question is, she wants to probably keep improving on her times, as right now you can see Zach Milk catching some traffic along with Lilac Zier. Cody Pinnell going to come on in this time by, along with Josh Gaiman. So Pinnell, Gaiman, and Hagan all in 2 B-Tron cars in this time by. That will leave Zach Millet, Stefan Oberstadt, Mark DeLayla staying out, Mark DeLayla and Ryan Pinnell staying out as well here. So Zach Millet, really the last, along with Oberstadt, the last of the playoff drivers who get the pit. I think in the far shot, you saw someone coming in that wasn't Stefan Oberstadt, but now Oberstadt coming on in. So that is going to leave, when he cycles through here, it's going to leave Zach Millet, the last of the playoff drivers yet to pit, and the last of the top 3 yet to make a final pit stop here once Oberstadt gets past here in a second. It's a question of when. And it looks like Millet answered that question. That will be now. As Millet's in. Don't want to speed. Do not want to lock up the tires here. He is in. Question is, will Ryan Pinnell follow suit? Mr. 600? He will stay out. He will take... Actually, we're on the back switch right now. We'll have to wait at least half a lap here. You see Zier and Roberts both getting around Oberstadt and DeLayla. Pinnell will actually stay out this time by, so he will inherit the lead, presumably. There he goes. He will take the lead. We're keeping an eye on Zach Millet here, as now he officially hits his box now. Gap of 16 seconds. Zier will go by along with some other cars. Question is, how far will the gap be? Focusing on Millet right now. Here comes Lilac Zier. And it's going to be easy as 1, 2, 3. She will take her lead back. And it'll be helpful if we show the car numbers. Zach Millet now leaving his box, I believe. There he goes. You can see a couple cars will get around. Brendan Roberts and Brandon Proudfoot will both get around. Millet now back up to speed. Will just get ahead of Brandon Featherplace. So the gap will be about 10 seconds to Lilac Zier. It's now with Ryan Pinnell making his final pit stop of the night. That will promote Lilac Zier to the race lead, with just over 32 laps to go. So Milton have to make up 8 seconds and some change if he wants to get back to this race lead that he's held for the majority of this race. There you can see Roberts trying to get around some lap traffic here of Dale Markowski. Right now, if you're a Zier, a Roberts, a Proudfoot fan, you want this thing probably to stay green. I would assume that would be the end game here. If you're a driver like in that second groove, like Featherplace right now, you can see moving off Danny Michelle, 2 teammates fighting out, John Hagan, Seth Wanzing. You're probably going to want to caution and get recycled up here and try to get another charge happening here. Michelle keeping on. Well, she brought him over here with the KFC machine, John Hagan. He's got a good view of what we're seeing here. Again, Hagen had a 61-point gap coming into tonight, so this is not really going to hurt him if he doesn't win. Just to make sure he doesn't have total capacity, even with the max amount of points he get in the race, he's going to be over 60. As long as he doesn't get penalty points, and that's something else worth noting as well. These drivers can get penalty points, which can result in, if they keep racking up penalty points, could in turn rack up no reset with those penalty points. So my point is, it could cost drivers points if they keep getting penalty points and instant violations for things on track. These drivers have to be careful, keep it clean, because you could be above the line, get a penalty point, and then get a dock of 10 points, and then be on the outside looking in. And you can see right there, Michelle and Hagen going to door each other here. Another door there. Hagen being aggressive here on Michelle, and Hagen will get clear. So put Hagen up to 6th, Michelle now down to 7th. And Featherplace is keeping the charge at the moment. See Hagen again going to get a good run on that low side. Hagen trying to get clear. Featherplace keeping firm on that high side. Oh, Hagen gets just a little bit loose there. You can see an up far shot there. Michelle going to try to help his teammate here get clear. Featherplace will hold charge. Michelle will get it back. So Featherplace will keep 5th. Michelle will keep trying to get 6th back from Hagen as they'll be side by side off corner exit. Still focused on the race lead when it gets a little bit good. Right now, Zier still doing what she needs to do. Millet not making as many inroads. See Hagen will fall back a spot, so Hagen will have to fall back to 7th. At the moment, we have 18 cars on the lead lap. Last car on the lead lap is Ryan Pinnell. First car, 1 down, is Davey Hart. Actually, Pinnell is actually 1 down, so we have 16 cars on the lead lap. So Layla, Pinnell, and Hawk all 1 down. If Flash were to come out, it would be a lucky dog battle between the 3 of them. Osmond will look poised, maybe go 1 down as well. So it's going to be a race. Stay on the lead lap here for those cars in the back spots. Hagen tries to make room with Michelle. Can't get it done. 3 retirements tonight. Wright, Feemster, and George. Feemster being a playoff driver, he's going to need some big licks. Saw David Wright go way low there. I can find him. He got a little bit loose. You can see right there. He's got it fired back up, though. I don't think it was David Wright. It was someone, though. Hagen gets loose off corner exit again. And we're focused on this battle. It is the closest thing we have on track at the moment between these 3. Fighting for position. We also do have Withers and Oberstadt. See right there as well in the far shot. On track battling as well. But eyes to the front here. Lilac's here doing what she needs to do. 6th, 2 clear of Bren Roberts, but here's 3rd, second for Bren Proudfoot. Here's Proudfoot with Millet. Roberts getting 2nd. Proudfoot and Millet now for 3rd. This is for the last step of the podium. Zach Millet's got the freshest tires. They've just hit 25 to go. Came in 9 laps later than Proudfoot and Roberts, 8 laps later than Zier. And Millet can flex those tires and make the move. So put Millet up to 3rd. He's got 24 laps to reel down Roberts and Zier if Millet wants to win this race. Further back, we see Hagen, Michelle. They're still side by side here. Caution in the, not caution yet. Austin Mongols slow on the corner 3, corner 4 here. Not a caution, I repeat, not a caution. He'll get it fired back up. He will get it going again off 1-2. That should be mistaken. But no caution in the air. Thought it was going to be. We stay green. Hagen will get ahead of Michelle. So Hagen hits the wall again. Now Hagen trying to get back in the top 5 in his KFC machine. Like I said, if you're a driver like a fan of Zier or Roberts, you do not want to see that caution come out as Hagen makes a move on Featherplace. Featherplace holding firm now. Oh, they touch again. Hagen goes around sideways. Down the low side, he will hit the wall. Definitely an interesting spot there. Hagen maybe showed a bit of frustration, just trying to get clear here. He will get it fired back up. He will fall down to 12th. 13th. There goes Ryan Gomes. Peltier Sharp just has a chance to pass him as well here as Hagen's now got to fire back up. So all lost for Hagen. And he's got that cushion, but you do not want to burn away that cushion if you need to. Now he's outside the top 10. As we'll cut the Millet here. I want to ride on board here again with Millet. So we'll have 20 to go this time by, just to show you the gap right now. 5.19 behind our race leader, about 2 and some change back Roberts. Got some lap traffic, 75 of James Kerr. We'll check the times this time by. Sear runs a 30.24, Roberts a 30.06, Zach Millet a 29.70. So out of the top 3, the fastest is Zach Millet right now. I don't know if that's fast enough to make it to the finish and catch both cars. It's not it is making good inroads. I think 1, 6, 9. Yeah, you'd be gaining a second every 4 laps. If he keeps that pace going, he should. It's going to be close at that pace. That would put him right there at the back of Zier at lap 184. So Millet doing a good job right now to cut into it, but he's going to have to keep that throttle up. There's Brad Roberts getting around Ryan Pinnell, next car in sight line, and there's Lilac Zier. Again, we haven't really focused on her because a lot of these battles have been raging on behind her, but she is doing a great job right now at the moment. Just want to reiterate that. Even though the camera hasn't been on her, because again, the mid-pack has been ferocious. She's been doing it. She's been holding on. Speaking of that mid-pack being ferocious, Featherplace and Proudfoot. Featherplace going to get 4th off Proudfoot. Proudfoot a bit slow, but actually falling into the clutches of both Michelle and Gavin, so it must have been a slight mistake by that 22 machine. He now will fall down to 7th. Let's see here. Charging and charging good. Roberts, though, is closing a bit. That time by 34.4 for Zier, 32.7 for Roberts, 29.83 for Millet. Millet's got it now. Basically shaved off a second in about 2 and some laps. He is on pace to catch Zier well before lap 184 as it shakes up. Roberts has caught a little bit of traffic. He's got Hawk, Pinnell, and DeLayla, all the one-down lap crew here in front of him. Roberts will get around the Ricky Red throwback of Davey Hawk. So Lowe's machine will keep second. Zach Mill will have to work his way through the same traffic here too. So this is what will give Zier some reprieve as if Millet gets kind of held up here. But just see up the road as well, Ryan Pinnell fighting with that car ahead of Mark DeLayla. Now we'll get the spots. That is not what you want to see when you're trying to get some clean track here. Is two cars fighting in front of you that are both a lap down, fighting for the lucky dog just in case things go sour and things go south. And to show you they're all in one shot now, you can see Zier leaves the screen first. Millet has officially caught Roberts. Bandit Racing driver is going to make a move and just show you what 8-lap pressure tires can do. So put Zach Millet up to second. And he's got 14 laps to catch Lilac Zier. Now I feel like kind of the game plan has shifted a little bit. As we see Brandon Proudfoot coming in. Bit of an unscheduled stop here. He is in. Playoff implications for that 22 coming in. He was losing time hand over fist. He's now going to go one down at the very least. Just think those tires kind of fell off the cliff, possibly. Not seeing any major damage on that 22 machine. You can see on the left and right sides. So very unscheduled for this 22. And definitely going to have some implications in the playoffs. Back to the lead. Zier still trying to hang on. Far shot shows you Zach Millet is coming. Gap is 1.45. 1 lap car between Millet and Zier. Laps to go. Looks like Kraft has efficient left his box. Took 4 tires of fuel. Now be 2 down though. You'll see him right there on the far shot. Should get one of his laps back here, but not in position to get the lucky dog. So Kraft just couldn't hang on to those tires. But he could actually be a bit of a helper here for both the 31. Remember, 22 does not drive for President's Race, and that's a different team. And actually, Ryan Pinnell is the team boss of Lilac Zier. So you know Ryan Pinnell is going to try to be a little bit of a thorn in the side of Zach Millett if Millett gets the Pinnell. Team boss going to project team driver here possibly. There's some traffic up the road. You can see Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence and Tommy Withers up the road here. And Ryan Pinnell, oh, Proudfoot gets a little loose there. Sideways, he will save it. Back to the lead though. Zach Millett is here. He is ready to crash the party with 10 laps to go. You got lead this race to 89. You got the 12 of Ryan Pinnell for President's Racing. Going to make that car as wide as he probably can, legally that is, to try to help out teammate Lilac Zier. Probably the worst car you could have got in the lap down lottery here is that number 12 machine. Pinnell now going to go low a little bit to try to get some draft off that 47. Going to go defensive in the corner. And going to give up the spot. Millett now, one car separates Millett from Zier, and that is Lilac Zier herself. And I think this is going to be probably an easy pass to this 31. Low side going off of the 3. And that is for the move for the lead. Late clear there, though. Going to hit the wall. Zier going to answer back on the low side. Side shoot down the line. Zier will take back the lead with 8 to go. Millett has to be careful here. Does not want to wreck himself because we've seen other cars trying to push. You saw Millett kind of door himself there in the wall, just trying to clear the 89. He's got the tire advantage. He does need to press. Proudfoot on that fresh tires, though, is going to come back and answer back and basically put a wedge between the two of them. Now going to get clear both. Next car they're going to catch is the 47. Millett again going to try challenging back here with 7 to go. Zier still holding strong at the moment, playing defensive. You can see all the traffic up the road here. Millett, though, going to be possibly having a lunge here. Not going to get on the corner panel. At the moment, if they do collide, Roberts is about 2 seconds back. After that, it's Feather Place about 8 back. 7 laps to go. 6 now, I should say. Millett going to make a lunge here. On the low side, Zier still holding strong. Dead even times last time by 36.5 for Zier, 30.63 for Millett. Tommy Withers going to be in the way here. Withers will go probably high here. That's going to block Millett. That is what Zier needed, at least a little bit. Withers going to get bodied here, but Millett can have a chance on the high side. Zier is going to get clear. 5 laps to go, roughly 5 miles. Separates these two drivers. If a caution were to come up, we would re-rack them. He's had a couple more lap cars up the road here. We'll show you in the far shot here. It's Sharp, Gomes, and Brault. And Sharp going to go high, block off. Millett going to make a move here. 3 wide in the corner. Millett going to make the charge. Zier going to be in the low side, not going to have an answer back. So one lap car hurt Millett, the other one hurt Zier, I should say. And Millett takes the lead in this race with 4 laps to go. Zier stuck behind Gomes there. Millett well clear. You can see Zier struggling to get by that 55. Hits the wall. Zier gets collided. Side by side. 2 cars will get around even more traffic. Zier is going to fall off into the clutches of Roberts. That is what Millett wanted to see. That is the signed, sealed, delivered race he needed as he's beginning to set sail. 3 laps to go here. Lap traffic played a big factor there. And it could still be to end this race. We are not done yet. Things can change on a dime. You can see that traffic Zier has to go through. Roberts could easily catch Zier. Other than that, everyone else in the top 10 is pretty much single file. 2 laps to go, this time by Millett looking poised. Remember, if the leader comes back and takes the white flag, this race is official. Next flag will end this race. Millett looking poised. He's been the dominant driver here all tonight, and he's looking poised to keep that going. Zier's got a little bit of breathing room to Roberts, but as they come off the last corner here, Zach Millett will see the white flag in the air. 1 lap to go here for my Smeal race to the lines, and Zach Millett is looking poised to put the fire out of the cannon and send his mark that he is here to be a dominant force this playoffs. Got 1 more lap car to navigate around Tom Sears. And as Zach Millett navigates through the last 2 corners here, he is going to see the checkered flag. He led most laps today, had the fast lap, took pole position. Zach Millett is your race winner. He will lock himself onto round 2, and he will send the shot to the other 15 drivers that they will have to keep up if they want to stop him hoisting a title in Homestead in 7 weeks. Lilac, your strategy worked out a treat. She will get second, kind of wondering what could have been. And Bren Roberts will take home a third, will take the lead in the Silver Cup Championship in 3rd position. But Zach Millett, your race winner. Other notables when we go to the results, Brandon Fed places a 4th, Gaiman with a 5th. John Hagan recovers for a top 10. Only 10 cars will finish on the lead lap. Tom Sears will be the last one down. So only 10 cars finish on the lead lap. Very caution-filled free race. First 2 stages obviously went caution-free. And then the last stage had only 2 cautions early. So Zach Millett, again, your race winner. He is going to burn it down here. Possibly. There he goes. He'll do a quick little spin there. Again, locked himself into the playoffs. He does not have to worry about next week at Watkins Glen. He, along probably with John Hagan, can argue probably punched his ticket as well because Hagan had probably a mathematical points advantage because of the stage gains. He and Hagan, Millett's definitely locked in. Hagan's probably locked in on points. Everyone else, though, still has a chance to fall out if they're not careful. Some drivers, like, we'll go over results in a minute, but like Braille, Markowski, Wright, and Feemster, they're going to have to dig themselves out of a big hole at Watkins Glen next week. So as Millett finishes up his celebration here, just a little impromptu celebration. Doesn't want to take the Ryan Blaney approach. Doesn't want to whip the horse after winning the race. We'll take a look at the final results here, and then we'll get on to some interviews here. So there is our final results here. We'll quickly get the graphic off the screen here, and we'll take a look at the final results. Zach Millett, your race winner. Lilac Sear, 2nd. Bren Roberts, your top 3. Brandon Fed plays 4th. Good drive there by the Lion Power driver. Josh Gaiman, 5th. Good recovery drive after that little spin there. Dan Michelle, 6th. Cody Pinnell, 7th. Seth Wanzing, 8th. Needed that drive. Stefan Overset with a great drive, and he was a driver last year that was sneaky when it came to the playoffs. Found his way in after 2 straight rounds on tiebreakers to get into the next round. He finishes 9th, and John Hagan rounds out the top 10. Tom Sears, first car, actually looks like they did score him with his lap back in 11th, but he would be almost the car's car 1 down. Ryan Pinnell now will be officially the first car lap 1 down in 12th, matching his car number in 12th. Pelody Sharp, 13th. Maybe have a little bit of some words with Zier at the end of that one. Zier kind of got held up a little bit. She will finish 13th. Mark DeLea, 14th. Ryan Gomes, 15th. Tommy Withers, 16th. Austin Mongold, 17th. Brandon Proudfoot having to pit there late for tires really hurt him. He will finish 18th. Davey Hawk, 19th. James Kerr, 20th. And as we move a little bit further down the grid here, we got Battles, 21st. Jeremy Braille, 22nd. Markowski, 23rd. Lawrence, 24th. Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence, 24th. Ross Baxter, 25th. And then we're getting into, actually, David Wright finished the race 20 down and 26. But then Feemster, Wright, and George all ended the race out of this race. So do not go anywhere. We'll see if any of the drivers are ready to go in the interview room here. We'll put up some microphones here and get everything going. So just bear with me for a second. If you do not hear the audio for our 3rd place finisher, it should be Bren Roberts. We'll hear from first if he's ready to go. Let me just find the right graphic here. And then let's go take a look in the chat room and make sure everyone is good to go. We do have the top 3 ready to go here, so we'll bring them in just a second. Just make sure, again, just want to make sure the audio levels are good, so just give me 2 seconds here before we test anything out. That should pick up what we need. All right, so we'll hear from our 3rd place finisher, Bren Roberts. We'll go 3, 2, 1 here tonight, and then we'll go up the ladder. So Bren Roberts, our 3rd place finisher, we'll hear from him first. Bren, this is Kevin the A-Band Booth. You got a copy?
Hey, how's it going?
Good, good. Obviously had a good race there, a very eventful race, and definitely brought a good drive there in that throwback Jimmy Johnson machine. Well, I guess we'll start off first off with the race today. Obviously, Darlington, a very tricky track, but you seem to be very strong at it. What's your secret for getting around Darlington?
I don't know. I was really bad at the start, and then I started trying to hold up people that deserve to be held up because of how they've raced earlier in the season. Uh, and all of a sudden, I started going fast to save my tires. So, yeah, I guess going slow at the start of the runs, how you do it. I don't know. I was really bad at the start, and then I started trying to hold up people that deserve to be held up because of how they've raced earlier in the season. Uh, and all of a sudden, I started going fast to save my tires. So, yeah, I guess going slow at the start of the runs, how you do it. I don't know. I was really bad at the start, and then I started trying to hold up people that deserve to be held up of how they've raced.
Yep, sorry, I'm just balancing audio levels here. Yeah, good question there overall. You still there, Bren? Just want to make sure everything's still good.
Yep.
Yeah,
I'm
sorry.
here.
Just balancing audio levels here after some mic issues.
Oh, you're
there.
good. You're good.
Moving on. Obviously, we saw that strategy work out. You stayed out and tried to make some work. So trying to go off sequence there, what caused you to kind of make that element work and go off sequence with the strategy?
I suck. I've sucked all season. Yep. So just trying to get something different. Get up front. I was kind of pissed off by it. Sorry, I was kind of angry about how people were racing me and how they've raced me all season. So I decided to just stay out and hold everybody up, see what happened, and it turned out pretty good. I guess I haven't raced people how they deserve to be raced, and that's why I'm not in the playoffs. That's why certain people are. But it is what it is. Had a good run here. Had the runs that I should have had all season. Just didn't have it.
Hey, but at least you got it going, at least here. Even though it's not for a playoff entry, it's still good to get the momentum going. Moving further on, obviously we saw you have that battle with Zier, and Zier, and then obviously you saw Millet flying like a rocket out of you-know-what. I guess take us to those last couple laps from your perspective. We obviously saw you were within distance of Zier and Millet, so take us to that last battle they had between the two of them. You thinking there was a chance maybe if they touched, you were ready to reap what we saw in front of you?
Yeah, so me and Lilac are teammates. And we came out
I
1-2,
guess
and I told Lilac, I said, I'll protect for you here. I knew Millet and a couple other people would be coming like super fast, so I was like, you know what, I'll just protect for you. Yeah, so I started watching the gap, and Millet wasn't really gaining at first, so I started to pick up the pace, thinking I could win the race. And I think that kind of hurt me, kind of burned up my tires. And yeah, I just couldn't hold off Millet. I'm sorry to Lilac that I couldn't do that, but she still had a great chance there to win, and just unfortunately couldn't get it done. Millet's just too fast. So yeah, I mean, great day for us. Great battle. Was fun.
Yep, definitely helping out in the Constructors battle. Obviously, you take the lead in the silver point standings. Obviously, it is a consolation prize. But with Watkins Glen next week, how do you feel about the lefts and right scores? It's going to be the last road course that the A-Square drivers go to this season. You think it's a track we'll see you kind of shine at a little bit?
Yeah, I think I can have an uneventful day, finish like 7th or something. You won't see me on the broadcast at all because it's so uneventful. But yeah, I mean, it's Watkins Glen. I mean, it speaks for itself. If you just keep yourself out of trouble, I mean, you'll be fine. It's just so fast, and it's easy to make mistakes there. But yeah, it should be fun. Should be fun.
Well, obviously, it is ABN tradition. If there's anyone you want to thank, family, friends, sponsors, whatever, the floor is yours. Take it away.
I want to thank my team. This is the first time I've gotten the opportunity to say that. Thanks, Ryan, for picking me, even though I've massively disappointed him. And then Lilac and Boss, great teammates. Yeah, I mean, that's really who I want to thank.
Well, great talking to you, Brent. Obviously, good performance out today, and obviously you made Jimmy Johnson at least a little bit proud. Even though you matched the card number of the real-life driver that's kind of showing some bad form of late, you at least made the vintage one proud. So you obviously take care of Brent and have a good rest of your week.
Thank you.
And that was our third-place finisher, Bren Roberts. And that will move us on nicely to our second-place finisher. We're going to go up 3-1. We're going to hear from, obviously, Bren Roberts' teammate, Lilac Zier. And we'll hear from her thoughts now. Lilac, this is Kevin the ABN Booth. You got a copy?
Hello, I got you.
Hello, indeed. Obviously, I asked Brent. That was the first great race for starters, but we got to start at the beginning again. I asked Brent this question, and we talked about how his race was. How was your race? We saw you throughout the mid-pack. You had battles with Wanzing, you had parks with Feather Plays, so on and so forth. So how was the conditions out there on the track trying to battle for positions?
Oh man, I'll talk about a roller coaster. First, I didn't think I was gonna be racing. My internet went down, and it's been up and down all weekend. Finally came back on right before race time. I reset the modem a 38th time, and it finally worked for now. So I'm just like, oh, I'm gonna go hard and go get stage points in case I get kicked out later. And then it stayed stable somehow, and I got good stage points in stage 1. And then stage 2, I was trying to save to make it without stopping, and it was just too much of a stretch to make it really work. I mean, some people did it, and then they ran out coming into the pits. It was doable, but I didn't feel like I could do it without losing too much time.
Yeah.
So then I just took a splash of fuel and to make it to the end of the stage.
Yeah, the only two drivers that really made that strategy work were Sears and Withers, as Withers came in topped off on the last lap, and Sears obviously he's known for frequently trying to make those strategies work at Darlington, so it always plays out for him in those regards. Moving on, we obviously saw you roll the dice. You stayed out when we saw the first quash come quickly at the end of the stage. Millet, everyone else came in. You, along with Wands and a few other cars, stayed out. Take us through your thought process in why you elected to stay out for the track position rather than come in maybe for the 4 tires and try to carve up for the field.
Right. So I didn't want to stay. I wasn't necessarily thinking that it was a good idea to stay out, but I kind of wanted to save a set of tires in case we got a late caution. And I only had 2 sets, so I knew if I took one there, I'd be down to 1 set, and I would still have to pit again. That's like 35 to go. So I thought, I can make it on fuel here, I'm pretty sure. And maybe the track position will help me not lose too much. And it turns out it worked way better than I expected to. Obviously, Zach Millett carved through the field. He was kind of one of the dominant cars, so that's not surprising. But I did not expect to hold on to the lead for that long, that's for sure.
Yeah, you were driving the wheel. I mean, I was pointing on the broadcast like you were driving that thing, and obviously you're a very strong driver. I don't want to take that away from you. We saw you even in the the Box Cup series where you had a second place and those machinery. So you know how to drive around here quite well and definitely put it on the A game. Speaking of, though, we got to talk about that last 10, 15 laps from your perspective. You are trying to hang on. We knew you had some help there with Roberts trying to hold up, and Ryan Pinnell was trying to make that car as wide as he could. So take us to those last 10 laps from your battle with your battle at Zach Millett from your perspective.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he had a pace advantage, and I was just doing everything I could to make it to limit the damage there. And at one point, I thought maybe I'd hold on to it, and then he just started closing more and more, and I was stuck in traffic a little bit. It got kind of crazy there. I was struggling to know where to go, but he just had a lot of grip, and he could. I don't know how he does it, but he's always seems to have a little more pace than me, and he's definitely one of the fastest ones out there. So him on a tire advantage is even more so, and the fresh tires got me the lead, but then he had the fresher tires to pull back the gap, and that was a lot of fun. And he slid up in front of me that when he got past, and then he said it just didn't stick that time, and he slid up, and I got back around him. It was like Darlington 2003, Ricky Craven and Kurt Busch. It was really cool. And then I thought maybe for a second there, the lap cars were going to help me hold on to it. And then it just, the way it circled around, he got through them, and I couldn't get through him. And I kind of had a tangle with the 55. I got to go look at that one, see if that was my fault. I'm not trying to wreck any lap cars on the way through, but man, it was just so hard to go for the win, and they're 3 wide in front of me. It's like, oh my god, what do I do? So a lot of chaos, a lot of fun, and I can't believe it worked out as good as it did. So after all that, I'll take the points.
You can't be mad with a good point stay here, especially when the playoffs, where every point can matter. Speaking of with the playoffs, obviously next week you put yourself in a good spot here, give yourself a nice big cushion going into Watkins Glen. So thoughts on Watkins Glen as a track? Do you think as a track we'll see you kind of shine out and maybe try to get a win after a second place here tonight?
Oh man, I mean, I'm pretty fond of Watkins Glen there. I like it a lot. I don't know about a win. There's some really good, road course drivers, but I'm gonna, if the internet gets sorted out here, and hopefully be stable. And yeah, I'm gonna go for good finishes at Watkins Glen and try to punch the ticket to the next round.
Mm-hmm. Well, it is ABN tradition. If there's anyone want to thank, family, friends, sponsors, whatever, the floor is yours. Take it away.
Yeah, shout out to my teammates Bren and Ryan. We worked great together today. They were going for their own. They were both trying to get good finishes themselves too there at the end, but obviously they were we were all trying to bring home the win still, but just worked out for a good second, third, and I think 12th place. Unfortunately, the boss man had a power outage right before the race. That's unfortunate for him. Shout out to him. Yeah, shout out to friends, anyone watching, ABN and the broadcast team, and everyone who makes this run with ARCS and the admins. And hey,
All right, great talk.
it was a good broadcast.
Yeah.
Good race.
Overall, yeah, glad you had a great race out there today. You definitely had some fun. It was definitely fun to watch. So you take care, Lilac, and you enjoy the second place. Hopefully, we'll talk to you next week. But if not, take care. Have a good rest of your week.
Thank you.
And that was our second place finisher, Lilac's here. We only got one more finisher to bring on. We're going to bring on our race winner, Zach Millett. We'll hear their thoughts now. Zach, this is Kevin in the ABN booth. You got a copy?
Hey, Kevin. How you doing, man?
Doing good. Overall, though, obviously, you had a very eventful day. Obviously, the first two stages, you were just pulling away with it, so definitely a little less eventful. But I got to ask again, we saw you were on rails. What is your secret at Darlington? What makes you so strong around here? You were basically whipping tail and taking names.
Man, it's funny. I was telling Lilac in the green room there that the last time I raced her in these cars, I got absolutely smoked, and it was with most of these guys. I remember Gaiman, actually, I think he won that race, and I was just so far off pace that I came into tonight not really knowing what to expect, and I did turn maybe 30 laps, if that, and in a really hot weather session, and kind of had an idea, but yeah, I didn't know what to expect. Got into practice towards the end, and I don't know, it just felt right. It was the razor's edge every single lap, and I'm telling you, it was the most fun I've had in a long time.
Well, it definitely looked fun out there. You were really keeping that thing going. Obviously, we saw you. We'll talk about stage 2 because we saw you in stage 2. We saw you go very long on the tire strategies. Were you? I guess the plan was you weren't going for the undercut. You were like, I want the fresh tires, and you want to try to race down whoever you can get. Were you at any chance worried that maybe you weren't going to catch those cars ahead?
Oh man, I was stressed right out. I mean, when the stage ended, I was really trying to figure out what I wanted to do. I had no idea. I was kind of by myself in my channel tonight, so I didn't have a spot or anything. I didn't really know what to do. I only had 10 laps on my tires. I felt like it was kind of a waste to come down. Even if I just topped off, I was worried about getting maybe shuffled back in some traffic, and I don't know, the car felt good even on 10, 15 laps. So yeah, I just decided to stay out, and I don't remember when I pitted. I think it was that caution after the second stage end.
Yep, 103.
Came down, took some tires then, and it put me back in the traffic, which I didn't want, but I knew I had the tires to at least make a run.
Yeah, hey, you definitely made it work. Obviously, continuing on, we saw you charging, and about 10, 15, I was at 20 laps to go. I was doing the numbers. I'm like, I don't know if he'll catch. And then 2 laps later, you're like, all right, putting the hammer down. So take us to those last 10 laps where you had to get around Roberts, get around the lap traffic, and then finally got around Lilac's here for the race win.
Man, it was absolutely chaos. I mean, it was again like the most fun I've ever had. It's the lap traffic was great. I mean, everybody like in this league especially, they always they're always looking at the relative. They know you're coming. They don't just slow up in front of you. They move down out of the racing line. I mean, big thanks to everybody tonight. I was so on edge. I couldn't even hit the right button to say thank you every time. But yeah, there's kind of like a fall off around where it is, probably 25, 30 laps where the lap time really takes a dive. So I knew if I kept hitting my marks, didn't heat up the rear tires too much, maybe I'd barely get there. Just wanted a shot, and I got there a little earlier, so we got to play around a little bit, and I was just so hard on the tires getting there that the first few attempts I didn't have the car to pass them, and the lap traffic, man, that was crazy. I think we shot it 3 wide to make the pass, and it was chaos, man. I loved it.
Oh yeah, it was very fun to watch, especially those last couple laps. Again, obviously, your win, you advanced to the next round. You're now to the round of 12. Congratulations. So you don't have to worry about Watkins Glen. You are very strong at the road course. We saw it was the Chicago Street course and Sonoma. That actually, you probably had Sonoma, but you were at the Chicago Street course. You definitely were very strong. So I guess the question is, we'll now look ahead at Watkins Glen. We'll talk about the next 2 rounds. We'll talk about Kansas and Bristol. Do you think those tracks fall into your wheelhouse, or maybe you can clinch your way to the round of 8 by winning one of those 2 races?
Well, I hope so. Bristol's kind of scary. I mean, you never really know what that's going to bring you. Kansas is kind of one of those cookie cutters. So, I mean, that's, I don't know. We'll put the laps in, hopefully more than we did tonight. And, yeah, we'll see what we can do. It's great to get a win right off the bat, though. I didn't expect that at all tonight. So this is just a huge, huge bonus. And it was just a lot of fun racing everybody tonight.
Well, yeah, you definitely shot your shot, and you definitely put the field on notice. It is a tradition. If anyone want to thank family, friends, sponsors, whatever, the floor is yours. Take it away.
Yeah, big thanks to ARCS for having A Squared. It's been a blast. I'm really glad I joined. Big thanks to HBR TV, HBRTV1.com, Track Bar Media, Track Bar Motorsports, Castle Packs Power. Shoot me a follow over on Twitch at That Is 4 Guy. Big thanks to you, ABN Studios on YouTube tonight. YouTube works, man. I like YouTube. I just feel like it worked better tonight. So, yeah, big thanks, man.
Yeah, overall, hey, fun experience. He'll definitely probably on YouTube again, at least next week, so make sure you tune in on that. But you take care, Zach. You have a good rest of the week, and obviously, hopefully you don't let this win here hold you off from probably winning at Watkins Glen as well. So take care. Have a good rest of the week.
Thanks, brother. You too.
And that was our race winner, Zach Millett, and that will conclude that tonight for Interviews. So, we have a lot to learn, a lot to cover here, and a lot to discuss, but that will be over the next upcoming weeks. The one thing we can say, though, Zach Millett clinched his way into the playoffs. All the other drivers will have to fight their way in. For some drivers, like Kevin Feemster, David Wright, Dale Markowski, Jeremy Braille, they're going to have a big hole to dig themselves out of at this Watkins Glen. For some drivers, road courses aren't their forte. For others, this will be their time to shine. We'll have all those questions answered and find out who the 12 drivers to make the round of 12 will be next week. But until then, my name is Kevin Young. Thank you for tuning us here on YouTube. We'll probably be back here again on YouTube next week, but make sure you pay attention to all the socials at ABN Esports for all updates and whatnot about this league, and also at ARCS Racing as well on Twitter and the social medias to keep an update on them, and they'll update where they'll be, but we'll probably be on YouTube. Keep an eye on just both ABN2 and YouTube around 7 p.m. Eastern next week, and on one of those 2 channels will be going live, and that channel you'll see Watkins Glen as these drivers fight it out. But until then, my name is Kevin Young. Thank you for joining us on this magical roller coaster, and until then, take care and have a good rest of your week, and we'll see you next time.